Welcome into the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Happy July 4th. Dan Shalom with you, alongside AJ DeBenedetto. AJ, a more chaotic place for Independence Day. We're at a baseball field. We're ready for a great matchup between the Saugerties Stallions and the Glens Dragons.
Yeah, definitely a patriotic day. We see the bases are red, white, and blue. We see red, white, and blue all over the field today, and that's for a reason. It's July 4th in Saugerties, and it's game day.
And it's not like the festivities just started now. You and I were on a float this morning. First time that I've ever done that. Was a great experience.
Same.
And then we got to go all around the town. The entire town of Saugerties loves July 4th. It's, in essence, their national holiday, and they truly know how to celebrate, and the Stallions will look to keep the celebrations going here tonight at Cantine.
Definitely going to be a good game. We've seen the Stallions overpower the Dragons in their last few matchups. Looking to do that again tonight with a huge crowd in attendance. It's a national holiday in Saugerties.
Yeah, you mentioned overpowering. Stallions have outscored the Dragons 45-12 through 5 games this season, have beaten them in all 5 of those games as well. But it really hasn't been smooth sailing in these last 6, AJ. 4-2, excuse me. Stallions dropping 2, one of those being to Amsterdam last week, and then a couple days ago to Albany in the first game of that doubleheader.
Yeah, we saw in those 2 games the pitching collapse a little bit, the hitting collapse a little bit. A 5-3 loss in game 1 of the doubleheader last night, and then we take it 6-3 loss against Amsterdam at Shuttleworth Park last week.
Yeah, those 2 games very competitive till the end. Despite the Stallions being second in the league for batting average, their ERA is first, and that's stayed that way since the first day of the season. They haven't been knocked out of first place in the ERA category ever, but they are 2 games back on Amsterdam for the first time this year.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a close match between us and Amsterdam between the first 16, 17 games, a game behind, a game and a half behind, a half game. Now we hit the 2-game mark, the furthest we've been back since first place, since game 1 of the 2024 PGCBL season.
Well, the Stallions are going to give themselves their best chance possible here against Glens Falls. We talk about the atmosphere. We've seen multiple faces today, including Pico Scala, voice of the Savannah Bananas, back here in Saugerties. The entire town was showing out this morning. I feel like it's the best display of July 4th festivities I've ever seen.
Everyone was hyping it up till today, and the hype did not lie. Such an exciting day from when we woke up at 8 a.m. this morning to 5 minutes before game time. It's been an exciting day.
And we got to talk about one guy before we get up out of here. Jace Van Valkenburg, the local kid on the mound for his squad on July 4th. I don't think it gets more poetic than that.
He was cheering when he was 10 years old for the Stallions on the float. Now he's pitching on July 4th. Really a story.
And one other story we have to mention, Eddie Yaman. This guy has been instant impact. His first game as a Stallion, 1 for 3, 3 RBIs with a double, and also a walk. Committed to LSU for next season, batted .342 at Dayton this past year. He just seems like a monster behind the dish.
For a man that hit 13 home runs at Dayton with over 50 RBIs, the stats say for themselves. The guy is a beast at bat, and he's a brick wall behind the plate. We witnessed it with our own 2 eyes yesterday against Albany.
So, AJ, how about some July 4th history? Stallions are 1-2 all-time on July 4th. They've lost to Mohawk Valley and Amsterdam, beaten Albany in 2021. As for the Dragons, they've never won on Independence Day.
So definitely a matchup today. They've never won, and they're facing one of the best teams, if not the best team in the PGCBL.
Last year for the Dragons didn't go so well either. 18-0 loss at home to the Amsterdam Mohawks, and they're also coming off of a loss last night against Amsterdam at home. It's been rough for this squad, just 3 wins on the season.
Definitely having a struggling year. Only 1 batter above the 300 average mark. Everyone else, 200 and 100 average category.
So, AJ, you were telling me earlier about how Glens Falls only has 1 hitter above 300. Why don't you talk to me about the Stallions hitters that have, I believe, 9 over 300?
So 9 over 300, 3 of them over 400. The Stallions' bats cannot get stopped, home or away.
They've really been effective. Andrew Amato leading the category. He's 400 plus we're just about ready to get going here from Cantine Field on July 4th. When we come back, we'll run through the starting lineups and get you going for first pitch. Stay with us. Dan Shalom with you, alongside AJ DiBenedetto here on July 4th from Cantine Field. It can't get much more American than this. Baseball on Independence Day. And AJ, this is shaping up to be a great matchup.
Like we said, Dan, in the pregame, 5-0 against the Glens Falls Dragons, 3-0 at Eastfield, 2-0 at Cantine. Really an unbeatable team so far against the Glens Falls Dragons.
Yeah, they've struggled against the Stallions, and a few numbers that you can point to aid in that stretch. The Stallions have outscored Glens Falls 45-12 through 5 games so far this season. The Stallions are first in ERA, and opponents batting .350 overall against the Dragons. So they've really struggled holistically, but a chance to earn their first ever win on July 4th here tonight.
When a team bats a .350 against your pitchers, it's very hard to get a win. A .350 batter in general is a Hall of Fame hitter. So you take it to an entire team or the entire PGCBL batting a .350 against your pitchers, it seems almost statistically impossible to win.
Why don't we see the batting lineup here for the Dragons that will be trying to get them their first win of the season on July 4th. It'll be Cody Meyer leading things off. He is batting .317 this season, but has 20 strikeouts on the year. Then it's Cato Kleinman in the 2 spot. Jack Griffin in the 3 hole. Then it's Justin Gouveia, the right fielder. He's batting .240. Stephen Catch, the extra hitter. He has the lone home run of the season for the Dragons. Hit it last night against Amsterdam. Then it's going to be Trey Mariano, the DH. Zowen Collins, the first baseman. He's down there in the 7 hole. Then it's Christian Knight behind the plate tonight. Then it's Reinhardt, the left fielder, and Christian Mott to round things out.
A lineup, we said, Dan, 1/300 average hitter. You look at the Stallions as a whole, they have 9, with 3 of them exceeding a .400 average. Really comparable the most to Amsterdam, but the Glens Falls Dragons really aren't seeing the ball that well.
And the pitcher they're going to be going against is the hometown kid, Jace Van Valkenburg.
Really a story to tell right there. Grew up wanting to play for the Stallions, now pitching for them in one of the most important games of the year, July 4th.
I would probably say the most important game outside of the playoffs.
I definitely could agree with that, Dan. Outside of the playoffs, the fans love it. But to go to Van Valkenburg's stats on the year, a .409 ERA out of Herkimer, the Herkimer product. 6 games so far, one of those games being started. So a consistent pitcher on the mound starting for the Stallions today.
He's been one of their best. We'll try and shut down this Dragons lineup, who has been bad, to say the least, this season. They're sporting a 191 as a team. That's worst in the PGCBL. Van Valkenburg is ready to go. Meyer is ready. And we are about to have baseball here on July 4th in Saugerties. First pitch is fouled back by Meyer.
Meyer, we keep on repeating it, the only .300 batter, but he leads his team in strikeouts. So if you look at it side by side, do they cross out each other?
That one there misses. Count is 1-1. Stallions haven't earned a win here at home on July 4th since 2022. That was a 13-8 W versus Albany. Last year, blown out 11-1 against Mohawk Valley Mercied here at home on July 4th. Trying to change their fortunes here tonight against the league's worst team. Meyer fouls this one back, and the count will go to 2-2.
Van Valkenburg had his control issues earlier in the season, had a few starts where they only lasted an inning, and he faced multiple batters more than he had to because of walks. So Van Valkenburg trying to execute that today.
That one's hit out into shallow left field. Ford is under it, and he's got it for out number 1.
A quick, easy out for Van Valkenburg there. That's going to be his job today, Dan. Get outs and let the bats do their job. That's the story of almost every single game this season so far.
Surely has. The Stallions team so far this season batting .300. That's second best behind the Amsterdam Mohawks. Second batter that Van Valkenburg is going to face is the shortstop, Cato Kleinman.
Cato Kleinman on this year, The season, a 159 with only 3 RBIs and 13 walks.
He hits that one to the left side. It is going to be foul. A quick 0-2 count here for Van Valkenburg.
Dan, the first day the Stallions are 2 games behind out of first place. So definitely going to be searching to get that win today and to eventually get another game on the Amsterdam Mohawks, who currently are in first place.
That one misses outside. Their best opportunity to jump back in front or tie will be on Monday and Tuesday of this upcoming week. They'll have another home-and-home with the Mohawks starting on Monday here in Saugerties and then Tuesday up in Amsterdam. Here's the 1-2. That one's hit over to the right side. Trivella grabs it, throws to first. 2 quick outs here in the top half of the first.
In Van Valkenburg's mind, he's thinking shortstop, third, second base. If it hits to any of those, these guys have been reliable all year. You have Rodriguez at third, Hott at short, Trivella at second. Minimal errors through the first 22 games of the season.
Yeah, errors have not been a problem for the Stallions team as of late. They've really done a nice job settling things down after they gave up 8 in their last 5 games, but since then have limited it to just 1 in their last 2. Jack Griffin, the third baseman at the dish. Griffin batting 167 this season. Hasn't played in over a week. Here's the 0-1. In there for strike 2. Nice crowd here at Cantine Field on July 4th. A lot of fans in attendance for the post-game fireworks. That comes directly after the last out of this game. The 0-2 misses upstairs.
Talk about those fireworks. People wait 365 days from last year's fireworks to experience this one.
One-two count, 2 outs, top of the first. Here's the pitch. Misses upstairs again. The count will go to 2-2.
Van Valkenburg in his last start on June 28th went 2 innings, only let up 2 hits, and faced 8 batters. So a great start out of him compared to his last few.
2-2 misses outside. The count goes full here with 2 outs in the top half of the first. Pico Scala, the Savannah Bananas broadcaster, he'll be joining us here in the second inning. That one misses on the inside. It's a 2-out walk for Jack Griffin.
Van Valkenburg had him there on that 1-2 count and just let up 3 balls in a row. We've seen it with the bullpen a lot this year where they get to the 1-2 strikes, the 0-2 strikes, and they just give it up.
So with the runner on first and 2 outs in this top half of the first, it'll be Justin Gouveia, the right fielder, at the dish. First pitch from Van Valkenburg finds the zone for strike 1. The 0-1 misses outside. 1-1 count. 2 outs here in this top half of the first. A nice night at Cantine Field. Weather going down. It's around 72 degrees with some overcast. Here's the pitch. Misses down low. It's 2-1. The entire town of Saugerties has been in all day on July 4th. They started with the parade this morning, which you and I were on, AJ, which you might have seen on our social medias. And then after that, everyone went home, got a little bit of a rest, took maybe a little bit of a nap before gearing up for tonight. The fireworks, the game, maybe some post-game festivities with friends and family. It's really the epitome of small-town America and baseball here at Cantine Field. You couldn't ask for much more. We are seeing a little bit of drizzles, though. Hopefully it's nothing too serious with the moving clouds.
A little bit of drizzle. This field has amazing drainage, Dan. One of the best in the PGCBL. The field always to the purest form it could be at. Game in and game out. They really do a great job with it.
2-2 count here to Justin Gouveia. The pitch. Strike 3 gets him looking. Van Valkenburg's first punch out of the day gets the Stallions out of this inning. The Dragons leave a runner on first. Saugerties coming to bat. Stay right with us. Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the Pac Cup broadcast booth. Bottom of the first on a nice July 4th night in Saugerties. AJ, we look up and down this Stallions lineup here tonight. The first 5 batters nearly batting 300 plus.
You don't see that. You don't see that a lot in MLB lineups. This team really backing each other up. If the first batter gets a single, the next batter does a job and advances him. To them, it's not all about average, but right now it's working out in their favor, and it couldn't go any better.
7 out of the 10 of these guys in the lineup are batting 299 plus. Pretty good mark, if you ask me. Lineup tonight for the Stallions is going to be Tyler Bach leading off, then Mario Trivella, Andrew Amato, then it's going to be Eddie Yaman in just his second game as a Stallion, Byram Hott, the shortstop, then Mike Cuello. Justin Ford is sporting a .418 this season. Josh Blackmore in the 8-hole. Jarrett May at 9, and Rich Rodriguez to round things off in the 10 spot. It'll be Tyler Bach to get us going here in the bottom half of the first. Bach played both games against Albany in that 2-game doubleheader a couple of days ago. In the second game, went 1 for 2 with a triple. He hit that one to the gap. And when a ball falls in the gap for Tyler Bach, you know it's going to be a triple.
Just the way he gets out of the box, especially the pro of being a lefty with speed, you get that extra step or two. It means a lot. From the second to third, it makes a difference.
He rocks that one into left center field. Chasing it over there is going to fall. Bach is at second. That one didn't get deep enough for him. It's a leadoff double for Tyler Bach to start this bottom half of the first.
To many others, Dan, that's a single. On the turnaround throw from Meyer in center field, you expect that to be a single. Bach knew it right out of the box. I'm going for 2.
No hesitation out of him. It'll bring up Mario Trivella. He's batting .313 this season. We see him in the leadoff spot consistently. Drops down to 2 today, and a perfect RBI spot. He's got 15 on the year, which is tied for second on the team. Takes a first pitch strike.
It's always good having a lineup that the Stallions can support in a way. They could switch up anyone at any time, positionally-wise and batting-wise. They have so much flexibility from 1 to 10 throughout.
And we've seen the 3 key infielders for the Stallions switch positions nearly every game. They're all so versatile. Trivella fouls that one off, and it's 0-2.
In a summer team, especially in the PGCBL, it's all about being versatile, allowing yourself to really pick the position that fits you best. And from one summer to the next year, you might find that third base is better than second base. So it can mean a difference.
The 0-2. Grounded right back to Creighton. He slips, throws to first in time for out number 1. As that ball got hit to Jay Creighton, AJ, it's a perfect time to talk about him in his start on the mound tonight.
Jay Creighton from Somers High School going into his freshman year at Scranton. So far this season, 1-0, 0-1, supporting a 9 ERA, giving only 11 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts, and giving up 14 hits. So you would mostly say a contact pitcher.
Hasn't been that effective so far this season. In his last start, it was against Saugerties. just pitched a singular inning, giving up 3 earned runs. He'll have to face the lefty Andrew Amato here with 1 out in this bottom half of the first. First pitch misses upstairs. Amato, the best hitter on the team. He's sporting a .471 through just 7 games this season.
Amato familiar with the July 4th festivities as well. Really, he said he loved it last year. We talked to him before, and he's just going to love it more this year.
Yeah, Amato, of course, played with the Stallions last season, won the league MVP, and decided to return this year. Has only played 7 games so far as he was rehabbing from an injury and joined the team about 10 days ago. Bach is at second. There's 1 out here in this bottom of the first. Amato went 2 for 3 against Albany 2 days ago. Had a double in that one along with a walk. Here's the 2-1. Misses down low. Knight's able to block it.
If you're looking at the way that Jake Creighton is throwing the ball to Amato right now, it's shown with fear. You're not throwing one down the middle with especially a speedy guy, Bach on second. Amato's going to put that one wherever it needs to go, and Bach will score. So being very careful on the mound.
He's an extremely speedy guy, and Amato himself also lots of speed. The 3-1. Misses upstairs. It's a walk here for Andrew Amato, and now, or it hit him on the elbow guard. So with runners at first and second, it'll bring up the new addition, Eddie Yaman.
Eddie Yaman in just his second game today. In his first game, he impressed everyone. 1 for 3 with a double, supporting himself with 3 RBIs, and came around to score once as well.
He's been amazing so far. Yaman this past season at Dayton, a .342 hitter, 13 home runs on the season through just 53 games. That allowed him to enter the portal and is going to LSU next season. So big upgrade for him.
You could definitely see why he's going to LSU. The stats do not lie.
First pitch to him misses down low. Runners are at first and second here in the bottom of the first. Stallions in their special edition July 4th jerseys here tonight. First and only time they're going to wear them all season. The 1-0 in there. And AJ, a nice touch. All the bases are also America themed.
The hard work that this field crew puts in, it's really undescribable. I mean, what other field has baseball, the bases, in a USA theme?
I've never seen that personally. That one misses down low to Yaman. It's a 2-1 count. There's 1 out here in this bottom of the first.
Dan, I just want you to take a look at Amato's stance when he leads off at first base. He puts himself in a perpendicular position facing second base.
He's ready to run. Check over on Bach. They want to be careful with his speed so far this season. 5 stolen bases. Two-one count. Misses upstairs. 3-1.
Creighton looked like he's kind of pushing it in a way where he's pushing the ball. He's not just throwing it. He's directing the ball where he wants to go, and that's the pitcher's number 1 rule of don't do. Don't tell the ball where it should go, just throw it.
3-1 count here to Eddie Yaman. The pitch. Misses upstairs, and the bases are loaded.
A 4-pitch walk to Eddie Yaman. 5-pitch walk to Eddie Yaman. Now bases loaded with the guy that hasn't really hit the ball to his expectation or his potential 100% yet. This is the absolute perfect time with the whole crowd behind him supporting him.
Yeah, the player you're talking about is, of course, Byram Hott, the shortstop tonight. Batting .299 this season. He went on a 4 for 21 stretch, though, between June 15th and June 26th. But in his last 2 games, 3 for 6, so trying to turn it around. He swings through that one for strike 1.
Bach really has not been taking advantage of that first pick strike. Right there, we just saw an aggressive swing. That's exactly the approach you want, and you could tell he's going to have a good at-bat after that, just one swing.
Creighton comes set, now deals. 2 big hacks from Hott, and he's quickly down 0-2.
Really wanting to kill the ball with the 3 people on base. It makes sense. 2 strikes right down Broadway. You could tell he really wanted those.
We'll see if Creighton switches to the off speed. Bases are loaded with Stallions here in the bottom of the first. The pitch. Gets him looking. So Hott goes down on 3 pitches, and there's 2 outs here in this bottom of the first.
Just not the pitch that Hott was expecting on that 3-pitch strike, but landed in there for strike 3.
It'll bring up Mike Cuello, the right fielder. Cuello batting .200 this season, but there's been lots of pop in his bat as of late. Looking to drive home a run here in this bottom half of the first. He takes a first pitch ball.
And the problem for the Stallions this whole year has been leaving runners on base. You had no outs going into bases loaded. And now 2 outs later, you still got bases loaded, no runs coming in.
Cuello fouls that one off to the left side. Stallions historically on July 4th have scored every single time since 2021 in either the first or second innings, and in their past 2 years have actually taken the lead despite losing to Mohawk Valley 11-1 last year. 1-1 count. Bases are still loaded. 2 outs here in this bottom of the first. The pitch finds the top of the zone for strike 2.
Looks like Creighton is confusing the batters in a way. The home plate umpire liking the outside half of that zone. The fans not too happy with it, looking like a ball from where they are behind the umpire.
1-2 count. The pitch. Cuello stays alive. Last time we saw the right fielder a couple of days ago in the second game of the Albany doubleheader. He went 0 for 2 in that one, 2 strikeouts and a hit by pitch. Strikeouts have been a problem for Cuello this year, 23 so far in the campaign, and that leads the squad. One, two. Blows it right past him. So Creighton deals back-to-back strikeouts and leaves the bases loaded of Stallions here in this bottom of the first. Pico Scala joining us next here on the broadcast as we head to the Dan Shallum with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto and Biko Scala here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Biko, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely my pleasure, guys. I am thrilled to be here.
So why don't you tell our audience who you are, what you do for those that don't know you?
Sure. So I am the broadcast entertainer for the Savannah Bananas, which is a bananified way of play-by-play guy. And, boy, I've been there for 5 years, and my job before that was MLB Network. My job before that was Saugerties Stallions broadcaster for a couple summers. So it is so special to be back in this booth.
I mean, you know Saugerties better than anybody. Saugerties native yourself, grew up here, played with the Sawyers, played on this exact field in high school, then actually called the games. I mean, what does it mean for you to be back here on July 4th?
I mean, I've got chills right now. Like, just that is the perfect question because I'm living it up. I can't say enough good things about Saugerties, New York. I've got so many special memories on this field.
This one's popped up to the right side. May's chasing it. He makes a nice play and actually goes into the tarp. What an athletic play from Jarrett May for out number one.
You kidding me? That was sweet. That was a big league play. It's to finish up and wax poetic here. 3 years of varsity baseball, 3 years of Legion ball on this field. Grew up watching the Sawyers play, and this is awesome. Having the Stallions here since the summer of 2015 is so cool for this town, and it's special. There's nothing more than that.
Biko, you said 2017 was your last time you broadcast in the Stallions booth. Tell me, how does it feel 7 years later? It must have went in a blink.
7 years. That's insane. It did go in a blink. It did. It does not feel like 7 years in the slightest. And I cherish the memories that I've made in this booth so much. I mean, I cut my teeth up here. Kevin Hinchy and company put their trust in a kid who hadn't done a whole lot of broadcasting.
This one's grounded to Travella. He picks it, throws to first. 2 quick outs here in the top half of the second. So, Biko, it's our first time, of course, here this summer. I mean, what does it mean to you just to see the evolution of this Stallions program, franchise as a whole? It's their best start ever from when you were here years ago.
Yeah, the team was always solid, but there was always powerhouses in the PGCBL that were far more formidable. So obviously getting to see the Stallions win the championship a few years ago was really special. The Bananas happened to win the championship that summer as well, so that was pretty poetic in my little universe. But seeing the boys 17 wins, 17-5.
17-5.
Oh, babe, that's tremendous. And I mean, you've got tons of fans here. The rain's coming down pretty strong. They're sticking it out. It's a baseball town, and we're so blessed to have this whole complex here. And obviously, here the Dutch, the centerpiece of it all. It's really cool stuff.
And I heard Kevin Hinchy and the field manager Greg Chorvis saying, "They're under no circumstance are we canceling this game. This is the heart of Saugerties. The July 4th. People wait 365 days from the last time fireworks went off. Tell me the fireworks show. I hear all about it."
The fireworks broadcasting is fun. I see Caprice in the YouTube chat saying I probably left a cookie up here. And I could still grab a bite for it. Yes, Caprice, you know me well. It's probably somewhere in one of these corners. Yeah, the fireworks broadcasting. It's one of those things I just enjoy broadcasting. Anything, they have fireworks shows, might as well push the limits of creativity.
Biko, you're more than welcome to stay with us for the bottom half of the second.
You got me.
As we roll on to the home half, Dragons go down 1-2-3. We'll be right back alongside Biko Scala. Stay with us. Dan Schall with you, alongside AJ DiBenedetto and Pico Scala in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Bottom of the second, no score just yet. So, Pico, we talked a lot about Saugerties.
Yeah.
What's it like for you to travel around the country as the Bananas broadcaster, showing this new version of baseball to so many new faces?
It's such a blessing. I can't. There's no words really to truly describe what an honor and how lucky I am that I kind of stumbled into this job opening online. And a 2.5-month contract. I'm now in my 5th year. I personally love traveling, so I think it's a cheat code to life. Anytime you have a job that can send you around the country and you can kind of expand your own personal map of the world. So far, we're on the continental U.S. We're pursuing world domination as we speak.
Ford's hit right there, so it'll be a leadoff hit by pitch for the Stallions with nobody out in this bottom half of the second.
In his last 2 at-bats, 2 hit-by pitches.
You don't see that every day. Now, Vico, another question for you. We had you on the podcast a couple of months ago. It was a pleasure having you. You told us you came back to the Stallions mainly because of your high school girlfriend, who is now your fiance.
Fact.
Which is a great story. So could you just give us some insight into that?
For sure. So my fiance, Lauren, we started dating our senior year of high school. We had already declared colleges, so we were going to have the unbelievable distance of about 4.5 hours between Syracuse and the Big Apple. She went to St. John's. And when you're trying to make slightly long distance is subjective, but when you're trying to make that work and you've got a couple months every summer to actually be together, 24/7 or as close to that as you can get. It's not even close to that because I was working at Smith Hardware and then broadcasting these games, but I digress. It's a lot closer than going to the Cape Cod League or Alaska, which I was interested as well, and it all worked out for me very well. She's right down the street on Elm Street hanging out with our high school friends as we speak, so it's really cool.
That's awesome. Blackmore fouls that one off. It's a 2-1 count. Bottom of the second, Justin Ford over at first after getting hit by the pitch to start this inning. Check over on him on first. So, Bika, what was the transition for you in high school? You went from playing on this field as a Sawyer to then playing with the Legion team to then being up here in the booth and then eventually graduating Saugerties as a whole. So what was it like to go through that whole process and then eventually leave?
Pretty crazy because the dream was always Major League Baseball. And when I was about 15 years old, I realized I probably don't have the talent to make that happen, no matter how hard I worked. So I changed that dream to just covering baseball in any kind of way. And getting to talk about it, I love to talk. So getting to talk about it was best case Ontario. And I still played some club ball at Cuse. That kind of helped scratch that itch and wean me off of my baseball playing years. And then getting to broadcast games here was really full circle. And I certainly had a little bit of, I wish I was out on the field right now. Like, this is my field.
That's how AJ feels from time to time.
Yes.
That feeling most definitely.
I would love to be patrolling center right now. But I certainly, I was in the right place for me, for the Stallions, being in the booth instead of down on the field.
Back-to-back walks to start this bottom half of the second for the Stallions. It'll bring up the first baseman, Jarrett May.
And Vico, we see the difference you made in Saugerties. Every familiar face you walk by is a handshake, a hug, a hello. Obviously, you made a difference in Saugerties. How do you feel just walking into Cantine and everyone's back with open arms 7 years later like you never left?
It's cool. It warms the heart. It's a small town. You'll see that no matter where you end up in the world. If you're a good person and you get back to Saugerties, you're going to have a fan club. So it's so special, and there's such a plethora of people that have played such an important role in my life and molding me into the human being I am, and so many of them are at this game today. Rob Vanderbeck, PA announcing, right down the way. I was doing front flips into his pool for over a decade as a kid, and chasing Seth around the yard here. So, there's a lot of nostalgia. It's just so good for the soul and the heart to see the people you grew up with and help turn you into the person that you become,
Best way to say it.
Pico, we see some comments coming in saying, go run out there. Wonder why they didn't let you out there today. We haven't seen you suit up in years. It's a dang shame.
This is true. Yeah, 2022 Summer Series was my last at-bat, and I don't like to talk about it. I have 3 career Bananas at-bats, ground out to short, ground out to first, and then I faced Willie Stargell's grandson, Derek Silv, 6'4" and 93-mile-an-hour two-seam. That was probably the nastiest pitch I've seen in my life. And he gave me 3 of them. I took 3 healthy hacks. I thought all of them were going to be screamers to the left center field gap, and I think there was a hole in my bat. I walked back to the dugout and said, all right, I'm going to have to start taking some legitimate live at-bats if I'm ever going to put myself in this position again.
Oh, that's awesome. 3-0 count here to Jarrett May. There's runners at first and second. Still nobody out in this bottom half of the second. The pitch in there for strike 1. Now, Pico, can you explain this game to me as if we were playing banana ball?
Good question. Well, the crazy thing is, this is where banana ball is so much more torturous to be a pitcher, because ball 4 right here walks off the inning for the Stallions, and they would be up 1-0 because a ball 4 sprint, and that's okay. Hit by pitch, this is where baseball and banana ball aligns. Bags would still be juiced no matter what. But ball 4, all 7 fielders behind the pitcher and catcher have to touch the ball before it's live. So a runner in scoring position, that guy's scoring no matter what. It's a hitter's game, to say it simply.
So, Dan, 2 hit-by pitches.
2 hit-by pitches
in just one inning.
This inning. We saw 3 last game against the Stallions. They've been having trouble avoiding the baseball in the box. Pico, what was it like for you to have Fenway Park sold out to come see the Savannah Bananas just a few weeks ago?
I don't know if there's proper words to describe that. I've been 5 or 6 times in my life beforehand. Everybody on my dad's side of the family are diehard Red Sox fans. I grew up a diehard Yankees fan. So that was a fun dynamic, but Fenway's, the oldest park in Major League Baseball. It's the mecca of my favorite sport and what I've devoted my life to. So getting to see it jam-packed full of Bananas and Party Animals fans and just the vibe and energy there. That's actually the only place I've seen a playoff game, and it was very similar atmosphere to the 2018 ALDS against the Houston Astros. It was mind-boggling, to say the least.
Can't even imagine that. Must have been a surreal experience for you. Rich Rodriguez digging in here with the bases loaded and nobody out. Rodriguez, 11 RBIs this season, searching for 12 and 13. Creighton stays on the mound. First pitch from him is fouled back.
Dan, a similar situation to the first inning. Bases loaded, 1 or no outs, and they go down 1, 2, and 3. 2 of them being a strikeouts, then a ground out. Same situation, just hopefully a different result this time around.
The 0-1 misses on the inside. Pico, favorite moment as a Stallions broadcaster has to be.
Wow. Now that is an incredible question. It was always special every night getting to the ballpark and getting my chicken tenders, hot dogs, or hamburger, my pay for the evening. That's up there every time. We had something we called Kurt's Corner. One of my broadcast partners, Kurt Jorgensen, would host a little post-game interview show, and sometimes if Kurt was indisposed, he was actually still playing Legion ball at that point. So sometimes I got to play Kurt. And just some of those post-game interviews with the boys were pretty special. A few walk-offs here at Cantine that really rocked. Unfortunately, I was never blessed with any Stallions postseason action, but did get to go up to Albany for the PGCBL All-Star Game in 2017. That was awesome.
This one's fouled off to the right side. Will drop just foul. 1-2 count here to Rich Rodriguez. Our favorite moment so far, Stallions walked off Amsterdam in just the 4th game of the season here at home, 5-4. It was a pretty surreal moment.
Welcome to Saugerties. Hum now.
Awesome.
You always know a team has a little bit of magic when they can pull something off that early. Boys are gelling, coming through in the clutch. That's fantastic.
Best start in PGCBL history for this squad, and get this, it's the first time this season they've been 2 games back. Says how good they've been so far. That one misses the top of the zone. 2-2 count here to Rodriguez.
Creighton looking like he's continuing to push the ball, wanting it to go in his direction, just not letting the ball take it by its own pace.
Here's the pitch. This one fouled off to the right side once again.
It's another banana ball baseball difference. Every time there's a foul ball in banana ball and it's heading towards the stands, if you're rooting for the hitting team, you're holding your breath because if it's caught on the fly, it's an out. So the fans could help out Glens Falls a lot here. Luckily, the Saugerties faithful, and of course, obviously, this being a baseball game means it's not a possibility.
Here's the 2-2. That one's looped out to right field. Gouvea's under it. Tagging is Ford. He will score, and the Stallions have a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second.
Exactly the job that Rodriguez needed to do. Just put the ball in play. They had trouble with that in the first inning when bases are loaded. Now take it to the second inning, and Rodriguez with no outs doing exactly what he was supposed to do, get the runner from third in.
So, Pico, we know that sometimes the Bananas get compared with the Harlem Globetrotters, but it's different in the fact that the Bananas don't win every single game. Party Animals and Bananas is a real matchup every single time, right?
For sure. Our coordinator of baseball ops, Barry Aldridge, the most important part of his job is keeping the teams even. And last year it was magical. I mean, the Party Animals and Bananas played 69 times. It came down to the final game in Cooperstown. The Party Animals won 9 straight to close the tour and stole the season series from the Bananas. I mean, stole it. Like when you're down 8 games with 9 to play, we were in Des Moines, Iowa. I mean, it was but an afterthought that the Bananas had won this thing. It was just a matter of how. So that was really cool. And then the Bananas got a little juiced up this year, an influx of talent to try and balance the scales a little bit because the Party Animals on paper last year, they were a more skilled team, and the Bananas are 32-22 this year. So not winning every game, but they've got a swagger to them, the locker room. I mean, the Harlem Globetrotter thing, completely understand. Absolutely makes sense why folks compare us to them. It's turning baseball into a bit of a circus.
This one's grounded over to first. Double play opportunity, and the Dragons are going to turn the 3-6 double play. So the Stallions strand 2 here in the bottom of the second. Pico, thank you so much for joining us, man. We
My
really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
You guys are pros. Absolutely my honor.
We head to the third. Stallions leading by 1. Stay with us. Dan Shalom with you, alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the Pac Hub broadcast booth. Top of the third. We, as always, thank Biko Scala for joining us here on the broadcast. The local kid, it was a great time talking to him, and then the local kid on the mound, Jace Van Valkenburg, leaves the game 2 innings pitched, no hits. He did a great job tonight, also leaves with 2 strikeouts, and the new arm is Ben Keefe.
Ben Keefe, so far this season, one of the better arms on the Stallions. 1 loss on the season so far, no wins, a 4.21 ERA through 6 games, one of those games being a start. He pitched 10 2/3 innings, gave 12 strikeouts, 6 walks, and only allowed 11 hits. So some struggling days for Keefe and some very successful days for Keefe, hoping for a successful day out of today.
It's really been a successful couple of last outings for Jace Van Valkenburg. Like we mentioned, he leaves this game with no runs on the line and no hits. Last outing, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, no walks. He's doing a great job building his momentum while we're in the midpoint of this season.
We talked about him having some troublesome innings by a 1 or a 2 inning outing, just not going his way on the balls and strikes. The past 2 or 3 outings, he's taking the advantage of the balls and strikes, finding a momentum between him and the catcher, and it's going very smoothly.
So despite the Stallions loading the bases twice in the first 2 innings, they've only plated 1 run. It goes back to the left on base number, which we love to talk about. It was pretty ugly the other day. Going into that Albany game, 46 left on in their last 50 innings. That number now, of course, a little bit higher. First pitch from Keefe is ball 1.
We look at it through 2 innings so far, and there's already 5 runners left on base. You plate 3 or 4 of those, you have a completely different game on your hands, less stress on the pitchers, and more of a different approach for your batters. Looking to take first strike instead of swinging right away, knowing you're up by 5, not 1.
That one misses down low. 2-1 count. That one finds the outside. 2-2 count.
Damn, we're just at the top of the 3rd, and you can already tell what the home plate umpire loves on the balls and strikes. He's loving the outside corner, and the crowd is not the hugest fan of it.
That one misses down low. It's the catcher, Christian Knight, at the plate, batting 143 this season. That's the same number as Zowen Collins, who was the last out of that top half of the 2nd. Strike 3, he got him looking. So the first batter Keefe faces goes down for out number 1.
Keefe in his last outing against Amsterdam had some troubles. You know, an inning there, an inning there, and just trouble. Now we're 1 batter into this game and already a strikeout, looking a great start.
Cantine is packed here tonight. You can't see it on the center field camera, but right above that VIP level, fully sold out. And on the left side, there's no room to stand. Everybody in anticipation for the post-game fireworks here at Cantine Field. Here's the 1-0. That one's fouled off to the left side.
But before we take it to the fireworks, we got 9 innings of clean baseball by the Stallions. Just a good game that people look forward to. And this is the game. Top of the 3rd. The fans are here. Everything's going great so far.
Left fielder Ryan Hart at the plate. He takes ball 2. The 2-1. Grounded foul. Another 2-strike count here for Ben Keefe.
Ben Keefe, second batter, finding himself in his count again. 2 strikes going his way, looking to get the second punch out in just 2 batters in this top of the 3rd.
Struck out the first batter he faced, looking in a full count. Here's the 2-2. Strike 3, he got him. Back-to-back strikeouts to start this top half of the 3rd for Ben Keefe.
A perfect game to get the momentum back in Keefe's way. We look at the first 6 or 7 games of the season. He appeared twice. Unstoppable. Came in with a 0 ERA going into his 3rd game, and then kind of downfell a little bit from game to game. Looking to get the momentum back right now.
So it'll be Christian Moat at the dish now, the second baseman. 2 outs here in this top of the 3rd, and Keefe deals a first pitch strike.
Moat, so far this season, batting a .200 with only 3 RBIs on his name, struggling at the plate.
He fouls that one off to the right side, and now Keefe is just 1 strike away from striking out the side.
Keefe really just demolishing these past 3 batters for the Glens Falls Dragons. You can't imagine it not being a fastball. He's been smoking the fastball by them pitch by pitch.
And the struggles for this Glens Falls team make sense. Coming into this game, just batting a mere 191, lowest in the PGCBL. Here's the 0-2. Misses outside, and we talk about the struggles for this Glens Falls offense. 71 runs scored this season. That's the worst in the PGCBL. 1 home run. That's the worst. That came last night against Amsterdam. They also have a 350 opponent batting average and have let up 154 earned runs. Those all worst in the PGCBL. I'll give you one more. 116 hits and 608 at-bats. That ranks last. There's a reason this team has 3 wins.
They've lost their last 7, Dan, in a win against Albany.
Keefe strikes out the side. First 3 batters he faces all go down by way of the K. We head to the home half of the third. Stallions leading by 1. Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the bottom half of the third. AJ, it's been a game of runners left on base. Stallions now have 52 left on base in their last 56 innings of play.
Definitely not a stat that you want to say twice. Stallions really got to play small ball a little bit more, Dan. Bases loaded, bunt, suicide squeeze it. One of the fastest guys in the PGCBL at third. They're just scenarios where you could bunt a hit and run there and then. But against a 3-17 team, there's not really a need to worry just yet.
It'll be Mario Trivella to start things off here for the Stallions in the bottom half of the third. Saugerties plated their first run of the game last inning by way of a Rich Rodriguez sac fly, which plated Justin Ford. But they've left 5 on base so far through 2 innings. Need to turn it around.
I can't remember the last time I didn't see Justin Ford on base. He's always on base by way of a walk. The last 2 a hit by pitch, and then he's poking the ball all around the field.
And that last inning, AJ, ended kind of funky as well, a 3-6 double play. Not something that you see every day. Bach tasered a ball over there to first, and then Jarrett May was tagged out at second.
It's a great play by the first baseman, Collins. Just really stepping on the base, throwing a dot to second, and just a great play all in and all out.
1-1 count here to Trivella. He's one of 9 guys on this team batting .300 coming into this game. Off-speed misses upstairs. Crowd filing in as time goes on here at Cantine Field. The left side completely full. Behind home plate nearly all the way full above the VIP. And then on the right side, a decent amount of fans as well. So happy we're able to bring it to you here from the Pack Hub broadcast booth. 3-1 count to Mario Trivella. Fouls that one off. The count will go full.
Dan, you take a look in center field, right near the scoreboard and all of the Saugerties Legion. You see smoke coming from the prepped fireworks after this game. They're ready getting the show ready.
I was told I have to chicken dance after this game during the fireworks. We'll see if I stick to it. Trivella smokes this ball to right center field. He's rounding first. Headed to second. There's some trouble with it in right field for Gouveia. Trivella's going to third. There'll be no throw. It's a leadoff triple for Mario Trivella.
Trivella doing Trivella things. There's a reason why he's batting a .313. There's a reason why he has 15 RBIs. Stats do not lie, Dan. It all tells a story.
And get this. He had 4 extra base hits coming into this game. 2 doubles, 2 triples. He now has more triples on the season than he does doubles.
And Dan, let me give you a crazy stat on the year. So far, the Glens Falls Dragons, through 20 games, 41 doubles and 5 triples. A double by Bach, a triple by Travella. Glens Falls statistically is guaranteed 2 doubles a game and 20% of a chance of a triple. Already have happened.
The opposing team playing them is averaging 2 doubles and a 25% chance of having a triple every single game.
In the first 3 innings now. We're in the bottom of the third, Dan, a third throughout the game. The statistics already prove themselves right.
We'll see when that second double comes and if the numbers are truly correct. A prime opportunity for Andrew Amato to drive home a run. He grounds this one right back to Creighton. He throws to first, a high throw, not in time. Amato reaches on the infield single.
It's a great job by Amato. Really is. Saw that the ball wasn't going to get there. Weaved the tag in a way. Travella not scoring there, but there's no reason to score. Still no outs on the board, and you have a very effective hitter at bat right now.
It's Eddie Yaman. Yaman, 2 days ago, against Albany. He walked in his first at-bat as a Stallion, and then in the second inning, a 3 RBI double.
Right down the line.
He's trying to produce that same type of magic and drive home Travella here with nobody out in the top half of the third, and maybe even knocking Amato with some speed. New pitcher on the mound for the Dragons is Jacob Scarless.
So far this season, 2 games appeared in. Only starting in 1, but his ERA is a big number. 15 ERA. 3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, no walks, so he finds the strike zone very well, but has given up 6 hits in just those 3 innings.
Umpires wanted to talk that one over. It's Elliot Kennedy behind the plate. Stu Thornberger over at second. They rule Amato safe. So the first 2 batters that Scarless has faced have reached in safely. Yaman trying to be number 3. Here's the first pitch to him. He takes the off-speed for strike 1.
Yaman, a perfect opportunity to get another RBI on his resume. A very speedy Travella at third. Anything in the outfield, a sac fly, gets you up 2 and gets an RBI to your resume as well.
The 0-1. Taser to the left side. A great diving play by Jack Griffin. He throws to first in time. A run will score, but what an athletic play at third by Jack Griffin.
An absolute athletic, explosive, elusive. There's so many words to explain that play right there. The comparable play is a Manny Machado or Nolan Arenado. You see that in the MLB. That's a shell-shocking play.
To be able
right
to get over there in time for the out, what a throw.
And Eddie Yaman has speed. He's a speedy catcher, 6'5". The legs are long, has long strides, and he still managed to get the out. And don't bash Collins at first. An absolute great pick to save that play.
That goes down as Yaman's 4th RBI of the season in just his 5th plate appearance for the Stallions.
Got an RBI. Did exactly what he was told. That was roped down the third base line right there, Dan. Just an even better play by Griffin.
We're going to see an intentional walk here of Byram Hott. That's the first one that we've seen this season, not wanting to face the Louisville commit here with Amato at second. It's a strange intentional walk right there.
Very strange. They have the stats as well. They see a 200 batter in Cuello, thinking he doesn't have the power to put one in the bat.
And also to set up the double play. Cuello hits that one to the right side, was kind of a cue ball. Throw to first is booted. That one goes over the head and out of play. It's a dead ball, so Amato will score, and Cuello should go over to second. He seems to be in some pain.
Cuello looking injured at first. Had a collision with Scarless on the way to first. Collins, an absolute great play. Almost a knuckleball in a way. Almost hit Byram Hott as he was going to second. Collins, a little bit of a bump in with Cuello at first. Cuello, at the beginning, looked like it was an ankle injury, possibly a sprain, looking to run it off right there down the first base line.
It'll go down as an E3, as Collins was the one that fielded the ball, then threw over to Scarless, who couldn't come up with it. And Scarless and Collins collided over there at first base. With the ball going out of play, Cuello will advance over to second. Hott goes to third, and now that intentional walk has you thinking, not a very good move over there by the Glens Falls head coach.
Not a very good move, and especially saw Hott on a looking K in his first at-bat. Different pitcher,
on
yes.
3 pitches as well.
On 3 pitches. You see he's having some struggles at the plate. You don't intentionally walk a 299 hitter that's having troubles at the plate. The 299, yes, you walk that with his strength. But the struggles didn't make complete sense right there.
Came back to bite the Dragons as Ford slaps this one into left field. It will get down. Coming around to score is Hott. It's 4-0 Stallions.
And I'm going to repeat it. When was the last time you saw Ford get out? Ford, on his last 3 at-bats, 2 hit by pitch, an RBI single right there, just adding to his resume. Came into this game with a 4.18. He's unstoppable at the plate.
Yeah, he's reached safely now, AJ, in his last 5 at-bats, which is pretty good. 2 by way of the walk and 3 singles, 2 of them being RBI singles. Stallions still threatening here. There's runners at first and third. Josh Blackmore at the dish. First pitch to him is upstairs for ball 1.
Looking like the Stallions finally found their stride in the July 4th game. Took them a few innings, only the bottom of the third. We've scored 1 in the bottom of the second and 3 in this bottom of the third. Looking to add more.
That one misses upstairs. Tight strike zone tonight from Elliott Kennedy behind the dish. Last game that Saugerties won on July 4th came in 2022, 13-8, against the then, at the time, Albany Dutchmen. Here's the 2-0. Misses down low, and it's a 3-0 count here to Blackmore.
We've seen that outside strike, get called all day. Surprising that it didn't get called there on the 2-0 count.
Blackmore with a chance to blow this game wide open. He takes ball 4 upstairs, and now Jarrett May will be to the dish with the bases loaded.
So, Dan, 3 innings of baseball. Bases loaded in the first inning, bases loaded in the second inning, and to end it off, bases loaded in the third inning. Now, let's see. In the first inning, 3 runners left on base. In the second inning, 2 runners left on base. And the third inning is still a question mark. So now the question is, could Jarrett May get all these 3 runners in, or 1 or 2 on just 1 swing?
May got hit by the pitch when he was up last inning. He fouls that one to the left side. When the Stallions had the bases loaded in the first, there was 1 out. In the second, nobody out. And here in the third, 1 out.
I don't know if you saw there. The third base coach Colin Norton, almost got nailed there with an 100-mile-per-hour foul ball off of Jarrett May.
He had to jump all the way up into the air right there. He did a great job avoiding it.
Always looking at second, third, and center. He never keeps his eye at the batter. It's a great coaching strategy.
Here's the 0-1 to May. He takes it down low.
May so far this year definitely having his struggles at the bat. Batting a 114 with a home run here at Cantine. 4 RBIs, but also has 14 strikeouts. Really looking to find momentum and find a way.
No, 1-1. Finds the upstairs part of the plate. 1-2 count. Blackmore is at first. Ford at second. Cuello at third. May at the dish. Here's the 1-2. Puts that one in play. It's right over to Griffin. He'll step on third, throw to first, not in time. So a run will score. It's an RBI ground out, or excuse me, an RBI fielder's choice for Jarrett May.
exactly what Jarrett May needed. He had to put the ball in play. In his last at-bat, we saw a pinch hit against Albany, a 3-pitch strikeout. Now, exactly what he needed to do. Got the RBI, got on first base safely, and it allows him to see the ball bigger and better.
So, AJ, my question to you, was it possible there for Jack Griffin to throw home, or was that ball too deep?
With the momentum of him going towards the base, it's more reasonable to go first. The guy, Jarrett May, a big guy, you'd expect him to be less speedy than a ready momentum guy on the way home.
4 runs have come across here in this third. Stallions are up 5-0 on the Dragons and still have chance to add more. One misses on the inside. It's 2-0. Runners are at first and second. There's 2 out here in this bottom of the third. That one misses upstairs. It's 3-0. And AJ, you might be saying to yourself, this is the earliest time at home that we've been in the third inning. And some fans might be saying, hey, slow it down a little bit, because if the game ends and it's still light out, the fireworks are not going to start going. They're going to have no entertainment.
The Stallions are just playing baseball, man. Already 5-0 in the bottom of the third. A reminder, 10 runs through 7 ends the game. And if it comes to that, Dan, sunset might not have happened yet.
Rodriguez fouls that one back. Full count here with 2 outs. Bottom of the third, in which the Stallions have plated 4.
Stallions fighting well, third full count of the day, and it's only the bottom of the third.
Runners will be released. Misses down low. It's the second time in this inning that the Stallions have had the bases juiced.
Bases juiced with the top of the order up is not what you want if you're Jacob Scarless. A speedy guy at the bat, Rich Rodriguez at first, Jarrett May at second, Josh Blackmore at third. And after Tyler Bach, you got more hitters that could just
You
do a
got Mario
job.
Travella, who led off this inning with a triple. So if Bach reaches safely, the Stallions will have batted around every member of this starting 10 coming up to the dish in this inning.
I don't know if you saw that right there. That looked like an ephus curve. Bach was so surprised that that came in for a strike. He looked back at Jacob Scarlett and was like, wow.
Probably my fastball looks like an ephus curve at this point. Here's the 0-1. That one misses down low. Bases are still loaded here in the bottom half of the third.
So now 4 different occasions of bases loaded. 2 in the third, 1 in the second, and 1 in the first.
Shows one thing, Stallions can get on base.
It also shows another thing. There's a reason why Glens Falls has an 8.35 pitching ERA.
That ranks worst in the entire PGCBL. And teams also bat .350 against them. That's a league worst mark as well. 1-2 count here to Tyler Bach. He fouls that one off and stays alive.
And we take a look at Bach in the 1-2, 0-2, 2-2. The curveball so far this summer PGCBL season has not been his favorite. Looking like more of a fastball guy at the plate. He loves to crush that first pitch fastball. He is fearless with it.
1-2 count. Bases are loaded. There's 2 outs here in this bottom of the third. The pitch. Hit right back to Scarless. He throws to first for out number 3. So the Stallions leave 3 runners on base, but get the damage done. They plate 4 and lead it 5-0 as we head to the 4th. Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Gearing up for the top half of the fourth, a third of the way through of this game. Stallions playing 4 in that bottom half of the third. And Ben Keefe is out there for his second inning of work to try and solidify that lead. 4 of those runs coming across, only 3 being earned, though, after an E3 at first by Collins. Stallions in this game, AJ, the score could be a lot bigger. They've left 8 runners now on base through 3 innings, but still lead 5-0.
Giving it a better observation, Dan, I was just thinking about it about 5 seconds ago. There's a reason why they have so many runners on base. We just scored 4 runs in the bottom of the third, and they still left 3 runners on base. When you get that many base runners on, eventually you're going to have to get 3 outs. The 3 outs just came in that way of form, leaving the 3 runners on base. But in any other scenario, any team would be thankful to see that 3 runners left on base to show that the team gets on base.
It'll be the top of the lineup here for the Dragons to start off this top half of the fourth. Center fielder Cody Meyer takes a first pitch ball. Flew out over to left field to start this ball game. You look at Meyer, 317 on the year, 20 strikeouts. It's hard how those things go hand in hand, those 2 numbers.
It's really the saying, it's either a hit or a strikeout. And it kind of looks like it's in a 50-50 way in a way. You're batting a 317, but also 20 strikeouts.
The 1-2. This one's lined over to short. It'll be a no play there for Trivella. Second, excuse me. It's the first hit of the ball game for the Dragons here in the top half of the fourth.
There's a 317 for a reason. It just bloops that one into center field, and that's a single.
It'll bring in Cato Kleinman, the lefty shortstop. You look at the next 2 hitters in this lineup. Cato Kleinman batting 159 coming into this game. Jack Griffin, 167. Not what you want to see from your 2 and 3-hole hitters. This one gets past Blackmore. He throws down to second. Not in time. It kicked right back, and he had a great chance to get him.
That almost looked that looked close to out. That was a very close play. An absolute cannon by Josh Blackmore there to almost get Meyer out at second, a half a step off there.
First runner in scoring position of this game for the Dragons. This one's poked right back to the same spot as Myers hit, and there's runners at first and third for the Dragons with nobody out.
Looked like almost an identical hit to Myers there by Kleinman. Just so short of Trivella's range there at second base.
And that'll help out Kleinman's average. Was batting 159 coming into this game. It'll bring up the 3-hole hitter Jack Griffin, who is also struggling at the plate. 167 coming into this game.
Jack Griffin, the third baseman on the Glens Falls Dragons, with those phenomenal plays at third base in just the bottom of the third.
Trying to deliver a phenomenal play on offense here for the Dragons. Runners are at first and third. There's nobody out. Going over to second is Kleinman. It's a double steal. So they'll get Kleinman over at second, but Meyer will steal home, and the Dragons have plated their first run of the ball game. It's 5-1.
When you're up 5, giving up 1 run is not the end of the world. Blackmore saw opportunity to get an out on the board and help his pitcher Ben Keefe out. He did just that. A perfect 1 bounce to Trivella got him out right there.
You as a catcher, would you make that same decision in that situation?
100% without a doubt. I wouldn't think twice about it just because not only are we up 5, I'm also helping out my pitcher. I gave him an out to think about. He only has 2 more with no runners on compared to no outs with 2 runners on. It's a completely different mindset.
And not that the Stallions want to be giving away runs, but they're in a comfortable spot right now where they can afford to give up a run.
Definitely a fair trade-off there.
The 2-1. Gets him at the knees for strike 2.
Keith looking to replicate that top of the third. A 1, a 2, and a 3 very quickly. Looking to do that just again. He has given up 1 run, though.
2-2. Gets him swinging for strike 3. Let's punch out number 4 on the day for Ben Keefe. And there's 2 outs here in this top half of the 4th.
Josh Blackmore had 2 opportunities for stolen bases at second there. The first one off by half a step. The second one, a bouncer right at Trevella's glove. Blackmore looking really clean, looking confident. Really a catcher you want behind the plate.
First pitch here to Justin Gouveia is grounded over to third. Rodriguez throws to first, and another great play by Rich Rodriguez to end this 4th inning.
Such a clean defensive player. Anytime a ball's hit to him, his transfer from the glove to the throw is faster than a blink. And that's a big reason on why he gets people out by that half step, that step. It's so effective.
So the Dragons played 1 here in the top half of the 4th. We head to the home half. It's 5-1 Stallions. Dan Chalm with you. Alongside AJ DiBenedetto, we hear our PA announcer, Rob Vanderbeck, bringing up the chicken dance, the chicken dance, the chicken dance. It's a Saugerties staple. And if you don't know what it is, it's a dance that was invented a while ago, but our producer, Casey DeSalle, has adopted it as the Saugerties, quote-unquote, dance of July 4th. So we saw it throughout the parade today, people doing it here at the ballpark. We'll know that it'll continue throughout the night, but one of the few charming things that makes July 4th in Saugerties, July 4th in Saugerties.
Casey really brought it back to life in Saugerties. On the parade today, 400 people dancing to the chicken dance. Where else does that happen?
This one's grounded over to Moat. He throws to first for out number 1.
To go back to that, where does that happen ever in a small town baseball?
I've never seen that, and I just want to give some more context for our viewers at home. Casey DeSalle is our producer. His family has been throwing the July 4th party in Saugerties for about 40 years now. He took it over a couple of years ago and made the chicken dance the staple of the entire day. So when we went past him in the float today, his house is on the parade route. 400-plus people mobbed at his house just waiting to chicken dance. It was one of the craziest things I've seen in my time of being on a parade float. Amato smokes this one to the right side, gloved right to Moat, so 2 balls to second, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
That's 2 in a row of either late on it by Trevella as a righty or early on it as Amato as a lefty. So to think about it, some adjustments in those 2 batters that Eddie Yaman is going to have to really enhance and see. All right, adjustment. Make it first pitch and crush.
Yaman had the RBI ground out in that 3rd inning, which brought home the 3rd run of the ball game, that being in the form of Andrew Amato. Fouls that one back. AJ, can you break down the stance for Eddie Yaman for me and for our viewers at home? It's his left foot basically touches the top of the box and his right hits the back. How is he so effective with that?
I just want the viewers to see. I want them to get into his stance. The wide stance allows for less mess up in some people's idea. A less stance, not as much of a jump and go, similar to a lefty Tyler box swing where you're not messing up on the load with your hands, you're not messing up on the step. It's one motion with minimal error being allowed. It's a stance that I almost took in because I had a lot of issues on keeping my hands where they need to go.
He fouls that one off. It's a 1-2 count here to Yaman.
Dan, Eddie Yaman, one of the new additions to this Saugerties Stallions team, only in his second game, went to Dayton this year, put up monster numbers, transferring to LSU, and also another pitcher that joined us, Zach Morris, out of TCU. Welcome to both those guys.
Yeah, and Yaman, now through 6 plate appearances so far in his short-lived Stallions career, has reached safely 3 out of those 6 times. It's that one right back up the middle. Going to be a tough play for Kleinman. He throws to first. Got him for out number 3. So the Stallions go down 1-2-3 here in this 4th. We head to the 5th. Saugerties leading 5-1. Yep. Dan Chalm with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the top half of the 5th. New arm on the mound. AJ, what a time for Matthew Drillings to make his Stallion debut here on July 4th.
Welcome to the Stallions, first off. This is just his first appearance. We take it, he's going into his sophomore year at Oswego State. Now, taking a look at his 2024 pitching stats, supported a 5.5 ERA. He went 1-0 in just 8 appearances, 18 innings, gave up 11 earned runs, struck out 13, and faced 80 batters. So a good season for Matthew Drillings, just looking to improve here, get more reps, and go into his sophomore year ready to go.
Ben Keefe will leave this game with 2 innings pitched, just 1 run given up, that being earned, 2 hits. Does leave the game, though, with 4 strikeouts, no walks. First pitch by Drillings is ball. One misses outside. Like you mentioned, with the new TCU pitcher on this team, Matthew Drillings, another one of those guys that's just acclimating, like Eddie Yaman and more guys that are coming into this squad. We're getting to the point in this season where there's a lot of roster turnover. We've seen guys like Anthony Marcano, Zach Anderson, Evan Dieter leave the program, and new guys come in. So we're seeing some new faces in just about the midpoint of this campaign.
And that's the whole thing of summer baseball, getting reps, going to teams, finding where you fit best. Matthew Drillings, a teammate of our own Sean Dertinger at Oswego, both pitchers, both successful in their year at Oswego. Sean Dertinger taking that in to the Stallions, being one of the most successful pitchers this year so far, looking for Matthew Drillings to continue that Oswego type of pitching idea or look.
Also goes to the same college as our producer, Casey DeSalle. This one's chopped to the left side. Rodriguez went for the scoop but misses it. It'll go down as an E5, and it's a leadoff base runner here for the Dragons.
A rare error that you see from Rodriguez there. Just a hard bounce to get at any position, especially at the hot corner from the grass going to the dirt. You got to worry about that bounce.
You know what my dad used to tell me when I did that in the field? He would say, you allayed the ball. You didn't put your body in front of it. You just put your glove out and try to scoop it, and it goes right by you.
Yeah, could have possibly got him out if he did keep it in front of him, but Ketch is a fast guy.
It'll bring up Trey Mariano to the dish, the DH. Mariano, the worst batter on this team, as we see Blackmore down. He got caught on that foul ball.
Definitely looks in some pain. I could definitely tell you from firsthand experience the pain of a foul ball. It's a real stinger. Got him in the inner thigh. That's the worst part. In that stance, it hurts. Got to give him a few seconds, let him reset. It's a stinger, but he will most likely stay in this game.
And, we talk about the drop and block. Obviously, you're trying to get it with the huge mitt that you have behind the plate. But sometimes it misses, and an 87-mile-per-hour fastball going into your right thigh, not very fun.
It hurts. It really does. You're like, and then you wait 5 to 10 seconds, and all right, I'm back, I'm ready. But it also can hurt the fact in dropping and blocking. You just got hit with one. You really don't want to get hit with one again.
I think that's also what some batters experience, too. They get maybe hit by a pitch, a high-velocity fastball, and then they're somewhat hesitant next time they step into the box.
It's the best way to put it.
That one misses upstairs. We've seen all the catchers behind the dish this season really be warriors. They don't let anything take them out of a game. Check over there on catch. He has no stolen bases so far this season.
And we talked about the Stallions having 9 batters over 300. Two of the catchers above 300. Nate Manley, one of the 3 above 400. So all 3 of the Stallions catchers prospering at the right moment.
Eddie Yaman so far in his 6 at-bats, 3 for 6. He's 500. So small sample size, maybe not qualified batter just yet because he hasn't had that many reps, but as of right now, he leads the catchers in average. Blackmore got caught on the mask right there, so back-to-back plays in which he's been hit. It's a 1-2 count, big lead over there for catch, and that'll force a balk off Matthew Drillings. So the motion over there at first by catch works in his favor, and the Dragons have a runner in scoring position.
Kind of confused on what the balk was there. Didn't get a full explanation from the field umpire there.
1-2 gets Mariano looking for strike 3.
Mariano not really helping his batting average out. Came into this game with a 105. There's no excuse to go down looking on strikes. You're looking to get any hit possible with the opportunities given. That was a perfect opportunity. Runner in scoring position, 1 out. A lot of damage could have been done there.
So bring up Zoen Collins now, the first baseman. He struck out in his first plate appearance. Skies this one out to center field. Bach under it. Catch is going to test the throw. It's cut off there by Hott. So Catch moves up 90 feet on the fly ball to center field.
A way better position for Matthew Drillings than the first batter. Now you have 2 outs, runner on third, with a 143 hitter up. In his mind, he obviously doesn't know the stats. But just seeing the bottom of a 3-17 lineup, you have to expect they're not hitting to their potential.
That one's skied foul by the catcher, Christian Knight. Knight was the second out of 4 batters who went down with strikeouts between Van Valkenburg and Keefe, those two being between the second and third innings. Drillings misses there. It's a 1-1 count.
Although the home plate umpire does like the outside fastball, he is calling it consistently, and that's all you can ask out of any umpire in the game of baseball.
The 1-1. This is upstairs. This would be a huge win for the Stallions, not just July 4th. This team 4-2 in their last 6, in their last 10, 7-3. So just trying to get back in the win column right now.
A much-needed win for sure.
And I know some people might say they've won 7 out of their last 10, and they've won 4 out of their last 6. What are you saying? But for the standard that this team has set for themselves, to drop 2 games out of 6 has been somewhat unprecedented this year.
Definitely unprecedented, but if you look at the standings as well, there is barely any breathing room for mess up. You look at the Amsterdam Mohawks, 2 games ahead of the Stallions now. There's barely any room for error. 19-3. Stallions
also,
17-5.
Not to cut you off here, but this is game 24 for Saugerties, and Amsterdam has only played 22. So they're also going to have 2 games in hand on top of being 2 games ahead.
Much needed win here for the Stallions. Get right back on that track, and no other team that you want to do it against.
Runners are at first and third. It's the left fielder Ryan Hart at the plate. That one's fouled off.
Hit off the knob there. Those are the best for a pitcher, thinking you hit him and then right off the knob, but as a batter, it's the completely opposite emotion. Thinking, I should have just took it. That was so close to my hands. It would have hurt, but I got to take him for the team.
0-2 count, 2 outs with the runners at the corners. Little hit and run action, no worry. Byram Hott has got it for out number 3. So the first inning that Matthew Drillings pitches as a Stallion is clean. He puts up a 0. We head to the bottom half of the 5th. Saugerties up by 4. Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the bottom half of the 5th. This game rolling along, and it's a new pitcher on the mound for the Dragons. We saw Jay Creighton open up this game. It's his brother George Creighton now on the mound for the Dragons.
So far this season for George Creighton, 5 games played, none of them being started. A 7.10 ERA through 6 1/3 inning, supporting 4 strikeouts, 5 walks, and giving up 7 hits. The difference between George Creighton and his brother Jay Creighton, George Creighton is a left-handed pitcher. Jay Creighton is a right-handed pitcher, but they are twins.
And you played against them in high school.
Yes, played them in the section final. One game, Jay Creighton pitched. The next game, George Creighton pitched. We won against Jay, and we lost against George in the last game of the section finals.
Now is your last chance, too, to get to the state finals, and didn't make it because of the man on the mound.
Good curveball. That's one thing I could say.
We'll see how his curveball fares against these Stallion hitters. It'll be Byram Hott, Mike Cuello, and Justin Ford to the dish for Saugerties after the Stallions went down 1-2-3 in that bottom half of the fourth.
We saw the first intentional walk this year out of Byram Hott, and it came in that third inning, and then everything blew up. He intentionally walked, an error by the first baseman for Mike Cuello, fielder's choice for Justin Ford, and then a walk by Josh Blackmore, and it just goes down the line.
First pitch to Hott, you talk about the curveball, it's in there for strike one.
A great lefty with a great curveball. Both Jay and George going to Scranton, succeeding.
Tries to go back to it right there, misses upstairs. 1-1 count, bottom of the fifth, here on July 4th from Cantine Field. That one misses upstairs. It's a 2-1 count. AJ, I just took a peek down this left field line, and it is swamped out there. No room for anybody. Behind home plate in the VIP, a little bit more room, but if you go up just a singular level, also another sold-out crowd. Hott smokes that one to left field. It's going to get into the gap. Cut off just before the wall. Hott's into second with a stand-up double to start this bottom of the fifth.
Exactly what Hott dreamed of in that at-bat was an extra base hit to get him right back on track. 4 and 21 in his last 21 at-bats. Had a struggle right before the 300 mark. Now can proudly say he's above that 300 mark, joining the 9 other teammates in that success.
It'll bring up Mike Cuello, the right fielder. Cuello reached on an E3 in the bottom half of the third and then eventually came around to score. He was the 5th run of the ball game. Trying to bring home Hott here in the bottom half of the fifth. Cuello swings through that curveball for strike one.
Creighton going back to the high school days and continues to throw that curveball. If it's not his primary pitch, it's right below the primary pitch. He likes it that much.
Cuello skies this one to the right side. Going to be a tough play for Gouveia. He's going to let it drop foul.
2 pitches, 2 strikes, 2 curveballs.
I don't think we've seen him throw a fastball yet in this appearance.
I don't think so either. And it really shows you if something isn't broken, don't fix it. The curveball was never broken. He kept it, and he continues to use it.
The 0-2. That one is going to hit Cuello, so he will get first base. Hit by pitches have been a constant theme for these Saugerties batters. That's their 4th of the ball game.
4 hit by pitches in 1 ball game on a collegiate team, and 3 last game. The pitching against the Stallions not 100% finding the zone.
Well, I think it's because they don't want to pitch to contact against a team that is batting 300 on the year.
It makes total sense. But it just allows for pretty much a single in a way. You know, get on base by a walk, a hit by pitch. It's the same thing as getting a single.
It'll bring up Justin Ford, who's reached base safely in his last 5 plate appearances. And this guy coming in was batting .418 despite being slotted in the 7-hole tonight.
.418 in the 7-hole really tells you the strength of the Saugerties Stallions team. It tells you why they're 17-5. It tells you why they're second place in the East Division of the PGCBL. Everything has a reason for it, and there's a reason why he's batting 7th in the Saugerties Stallions lineup today.
Had an RBI single in the bottom of the third. That would bring home the 4th run of this ball game. Ford swings through that one. Was going for the fences right there. It's 1-1.
We've seen Ford's power hit it in center field on the stable deck. It clearly says 380, 390, and it really makes the whole difference.
One count. Misses upstairs. The count will go to 2-1. I mean, Ford had such an underrated season in Seton Hall. Only played one game and has showed why he's so dominant here in the PGCBL, sporting the 418 and had a 638 in high school. So a guy who didn't get much playing time to start off college, but is showing why he was such a highly touted recruit. Going to third is Hot. The throw gets by. So Hot will come home. Moving up to third is Cuello. And Byram Hot makes it 6-1 Stallions.
6-1, really just putting the hammer down now. Justin Ford looking in a 1-2 count now. I know the scoreboard says 2-1, but a 1-2 count on that swinging steal and go. He's in a tough position now. Man on third, just looking to get anything in the outfield to add an RBI.
So Hot earns just his third stolen base of the season. It's the 8th for Cuello, and then they both move up an extra bag on the errant throw by Knight. 2-2 count here to Justin Ford. The pitch is upstairs, and the count will go full.
Justin Ford refusing to go down without a fight, and that's really the story, the headliner in this season for Justin Ford. I'm not going to get out. I'm not going to lose the battle unless I really do lose.
The payoff pitch, he takes it upstairs. Second walk of the day for Justin Ford. Now there's runners at first and third with nobody out.
The Dragons find themselves in a tough position. Now, Dan, let me give you this fact. So far this year, they've walked 123 batters. The strikeouts, only 32 more strikeouts. Before coming into this game, of course, not counting this game stats. But only 32 more strikeouts than walks given out. That says a lot in a defense. That says a lot in a pitching staff.
And AJ, they've given up 10 walks today. And we're just in the bottom of the fifth.
And how many strikeouts?
Just 2.
So it takes you to 24 more walks, less walks than strikeouts. That's a stat that you really don't want to say more than once.
And they have the worst ERA in the entire league. It sits at 8.43. Opponents bat .350 against them, and they've given up 154 earned runs. That is all league worst, and it's showing here tonight. That's an errant throw right there by Creighton. Coming home to score is Cuello. Ford is motoring all the way to third. They're going to hold him up there. It's 7-1 Stallions.
That's 2 errors in a row there. One by Knight to third base. Overthrew. Griffin couldn't get there. And then a missed throw there by Creighton to Collins at first, allowing Cuello to score, moving Justin Ford from first to third, and still no outs.
So the 2 runs that have scored in this inning, scoring off of errors. Ford is over at third, Blackmore at the dish. 7-1 Saugerties here in the bottom of the fifth. Blackmore swings through it for strike 1.
We talk about strikeouts. Nick Pettit in third place in the PGCBL with 27, tied for third. Really making an impact on the mound for the Stallions this season.
1-1 finds the zone for strike 2. Blackmore hits this one to left center field. Chasing it is Meyer. He'll make the catch. Ford is tagging home. He will come in to score. It's a sac fly for Josh Blackmore, and it's 8-1 Stallions.
Blackmore, one of those catchers above the 300, has 8 RBIs on the season, 8 walks, a 342, and a sac fly. Again, makes it 7-1 to 8-1.
It'll bring up Jarrett May, the first baseman. May in his 2 at-bats today hit by a pitch in the bottom of the second and then drove home a run on a fielder's choice in the bottom of the third. First pitch here to May is in there for strike 1.
May looking, he got 2 for 2 on the base path today, 2 at-bats. Looking to make it 3 for 3. Upgrade his confidence. His confidence hasn't been the highest at the plate so far.
Every Stallion in this ball game has reached safely. 10 out of 10 have made it on the base pass at least once, which really speaks to the depth and the decision-making of this team at the plate.
It also tells you about the Glens Falls pitching. A lot of it, only 5 hits with 8 runs. A lot of it being walks, errors, mishaps, hit by pitches. It all adds up.
Fastball goes right by May there for strike 2. 2-2 count. 1 out here in this bottom half of the 5th, in which Saugerties has already plated 3 runs. Trying to add more. May pops this one up over in left field. Under it is Hart. He's got it for out number 2.
May putting the ball in play just under that one. We saw one that he made great contact with and took it to the park in left field. That one just missed on that George Creighton 12-6 curveball. We talked how effective it is, and it really causes damage for the hitters.
It'll now bring up Rich Rodriguez, the 10-hole hitter. Rodriguez in this game, a sac fly in the bottom of the second and then a walk in the third. This is a guy that has really thrived in the bottom half of this order. We've seen him slotted at 7, 8, 10. And he's sporting a 261 on the season while making great defensive plays. He skies this one over to left field. Hart is under it. So back-to-back balls out to left field. Back-to-back outs to end this 5th inning. Stallions add 3 more. We take it to the 6th. Saugerties is up 8-1. Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. July 4th, Stallions making it a good one for themselves. They lead it 8-1 as we head to the top half of the 6th. It'll be the 10-hole hitter, Christian Moat, to start off this 6 for the Dragons. He takes a first pitch ball. Matthew Drilling's out there for his 2nd inning of work. We've seen each Stallion and pitcher in this game come in for 2 innings. This one's grounded to Rodriguez. He throws to first for out number 1.
Rodriguez on that revenge tour now after that one hard hit mishap. The bouncer, hard to get that one. He made sure he wasn't making an error there.
It'll be the top of the order here for the Dragons. Cody Meyer First pitch to Meyer is down low for ball 1. Meyer so far in this game, 1 for 2. Knocked in the first Dragon hit and then eventually came around to score. One 0 is down low. Drillings has bounced back-to-back pitches to make it a 2-0 count.
Blackmore really not letting that foul ball or the one that hit his mask deteriorate his blocking skills. Really just said, I don't care. I'm letting it hit me if it has to hit me.
That one's in there for a strike. It's a 2-1 count. 1 out here in this top of the 6th. Blackmore with a nice framing job there makes the count 2-2.
An important out here for Drillings to just continue that momentum. He has 1 out already. You get this strikeout or this out, that's 2, and it just goes to the next out and the next out.
That one misses down low. The count will go full.
Drillings' first full count in his outing today, only through 4 outs so far.
Here's the payoff pitch. Misses on the outside. It's a 1 out walk here for Cody Meyer.
So close. Home plate umpire loving that outside fastball, just wasn't looking to give it there.
He gave it earlier in the count as well for strike 2, but Elliott Kennedy deciding that one just a little bit too far outside. It'll bring up Cato Kleinman, the other member of this Dragons team who has a hit in this game. He tries to bunt, pops this one up behind the plate for strike 1.
Glens Falls looking to play small ball here, down 7 in the top of the 6th.
Just trying to stay in this game by any way possible. Kleinman hits this one to shallow right field. It'll dunk in for a base hit.
Kleinman, despite coming into this game with a 159, 2 for 3 on the day. He did get caught stealing in his second at-bat by Josh Blackmore, where Myers scored, but 2 for 3. A good day for Kleinman.
So with 1 out, it'll bring up Jack Griffin, the third baseman. Runners are at first and second here for the Dragons. Back-to-back innings where they've had 2 runners on base. Nice block right there by Blackmore.
Continuing to demolish behind the plate. He's not letting anything get by him. He has the chest plate on and everything for a reason. Use it.
One 0 count. Here's the pitch. Misses outside, and it seemed like Drilling slipped off the mound right there.
Blackmore obviously having a few words for Drillings there. The first time today they've caught and pitched each other in a live at-bat series. And still getting to know each other. It really takes a few innings of play, Dan, to really get to know your pitcher. And a few innings for your pitcher to get to know your catcher. It's all about really communicating.
Drillings will try and settle once again. It's a 2-0 count, 1 out here in this top half of the 6th. Runners are at first and second for the Dragons. We'll see how long Drillings stays in this game. The local kid Marciano Neglia warming up in the pen for the Stallions.
A lot of locals here for Saugerties. All of them really doing a great job on the mound as well.
And I bet you the fans would love to see their hometown kid Marciano Neglia come out and pitch. They saw Jace Van Valkenburg to start the game, pitch too clean, and why not? It's July 4th. Put the hometown heroes in. It's a 4-pitch walk to Jack Griffin, and for the first time in this game, the Dragons will have the bases loaded.
So through 4 outs so far, Matthew Drillings having some trouble finding the zone. 3 walks in just this inning and a third of play. Looking to really find the strike zone. Not a time to give up runs here. This is a time to really fly them by, get the easy outs, and continue the game as it should.
It'll bring up Justin Gouveia, the right fielder. He's 0 for 2 today. First pitch to him is fouled off to the left side. Gouveia is tied for second on this team for RBIs with 5. Their team leader is at 6, and that comes in the form of Stephen Catch, who is on deck. Gets Gouveia swinging for strike 2.
Gouveia 0 for 2 on the day. Drilling's looking to make it 0 for 3.
Here's the pitch. Hit right over to second base. Trevella gloves, throws to May at first, and it's a 4-3 double play to get out of the jam.
He needed that, and who other else than Mario Trevella to help you when you need it most? Did it there right there.
So the Dragons leave 3 on base. We head to the bottom half of the 6th. Stallions still leading 8-1. Dan Shalom with you, alongside AJ DiBenedetto here in the bottom half of the 6th from the Pack Hub broadcast booth here on this July 4th, which is turning out to be a delightful evening in Saugerties despite some clouds and nice temperature. And it's a nice evening for the Stallions so far. They lead it 8-1 with the top of the lineup and Tyler Bach coming to the plate.
Bach, it's only the bottom of the 6th, in his 4th at-bat, really looking to get on base again. A 1 for 3 on the day, a double, a 3-6 double play, and then a ground out to the pitcher in his third at-bat.
And that third at-bat came in the 3rd inning, so he was up 3 times in 3 innings to start this game. That one finds the outside part of the plate for strike 1.
Loving that outside fastball. You can't be mad at it, though, as a player, because you know he likes and he's going to call for a strike. You just got to expect it.
That one misses. Count will go to 2-1. The Dragons haven't won a game since June 18th against Albany. They won 8-4 in that one, and it's funny to think about that because the last team that the Stallions lost to was Albany, 5-3 right here at Cantine Field 2 days ago.
It really tells you about the baseball sport itself that any team can win any given day. There's different pitching, different hitting, different conditions. It all matters.
2-2. Fouled straight back.
And Dan, the Glens Falls Dragons have the worst record in all of PGCBL East and West. The worst team in the West, the Niagara Falls Americans, 6-15, 11.5 games back. This Glens Falls Dragons team, 3-17, 15 games back.
Bach sauces this one out to center field. Meyer under it for out number 1. AJ, you look at those stats, and it's funny to think that the Americans in the West Division of the PGCBL have double the wins and are still in last place.
And you look at it, only 6 people on Glens Falls have an average above 200. Only 1 above 300, and 3 of them out of the 6 that have above 200 have exactly a 200. So some struggles at the plate.
Travella hits this one to Moat. He throws to first. 2 quick outs here in the bottom half of the 6th.
2 quick outs for Creighton as he comes into this bottom of the 6th, especially at the top of the order. You are up 8-1. You want to get a hit. You want to add hits to that average, to the summer card. It all means something.
And A.J. Creighton really could have helped himself in that bottom half of the 5th. Stallions plated 3 runs, but only one of those was earned, and he was responsible for one of the errors that allowed the 7th run of the game to score.
As a pitcher, you only want to help yourself because potentially one mess up, and it really puts you in the trench. And it's hard to get out at some points during the game.
Andrew Amato at the dish. He takes 2 straight balls. Amato today 1 for 2. Singled in the 3rd and then eventually came around to score. The 2-0. Misses, and it's a 3-0 count here to Amato. Any chance they say, hey, just give it a rip?
Up 7 with a big crowd.
July 4th.
July 4th. I mean, it all goes into hand right there.
He does get the green light and was swinging for the fences right there.
He was early. You could tell it hit off the tip of the bat there and had like a backspin towards the third base line.
It almost looked like my 60-degree lob wedge right there when I stick it on the green. 3-1. Fouled to the right side by Amato, and the count will go full.
From a 3-0 to a 3-2, Amato just having a little bit of trouble timing up the curveball lefty George Creighton.
Full count, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch. Amato grounds it over to third. Griffin Fields throws to first in time. Saugerties goes down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. We're 2/3 of the way through here at Cantine Field on July 4th. We'll be right back with 7th inning action. Stay with us. Dan Shalom with you, alongside AJ DiMenedetto here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. 2/3 of the way through here from Cantine Field on July 4th. Almost ready to go here in this 7th, and it's really now or never if the Dragons want to get back in this game.
Yeah, when you get later to the game, it is hard to make a comeback. But never say never in the sport of baseball. We do have a new pitcher on the mound as we get to the top of the 7th. It is the hometown native, the Saugerties legend, Marciano Neglia. Marciano Neglia this year, 5 games appeared in, 3 of them starting a 2-0 record, so perfect on the win and loss column. A 3.63 ERA in 17 1/3 innings pitched. 10 strikeouts, only walking 5 and allowing 21 hits. You would definitely call him a contact pitcher, but also with 10 strikeouts, you can argue he's a strikeout pitcher as well.
I mean, you and I have talked about it. Marciano Neglia is a guy who is not afraid to fill the strike zone. Regardless of strikeout or contact, he is pitching to get you out no matter what.
In a pitcher, in a coach, you want that. You want a pitcher that's not afraid to throw the strike, that's fearless when he's on the mound, that's not afraid of any batter that comes up to the plate. That's Marciano Neglia, Dan, in just a few words right there.
Matthew Drillings leaves the game in his first appearance with the line of 2 innings, a hit, no runs, 3 walks, and a singular strikeout. It's the extra hitter Stephen Catch in to start this 7th for the Dragons. First pitch from Neglia misses upstairs for ball 1.
Neglia in his last start was June 23rd against Glen Falls in that 10-6 win at home. He pitched 3 1/3 inning, gave up 1 earned run, 3 hits, and struck out 3 as well.
His first 2 pitches miss. It's 2-0. Catch fouls that one off. Stephen Catch hit the only homer of the season so far for the Dragons last night against the Amsterdam Mohawks.
Why don't you say that stat line? That was a pretty impressive stat line when I was reading it.
Yeah, 1 for 2 with the home run, RBI, a walk, and he came around to score twice. So a very productive night against the best team in the league for Stephen Catch. 2-1 to him, misses down low.
A productive night, but they did lose by 10, if I remember correctly, to the Amsterdam Mohawks.
Yeah, 13-3, the final score in that one. Catch made up 2 of those runs. Here's the 3-1. That one misses down low. It's a 5-pitch walk to start off this 7th for Stephen Catch.
Neglia through 17 1/3 inning, not known for his walks, only gave up 5 so far this season. Half of his strikeouts. And you really think of it as that's not Neglia's first batter approach. His always first batter approach is strikes and see what the batters can do. He really didn't give Catch a chance there to show him what he could do. He gave him more on the ball side.
I mean, personally, I can't even imagine what it's like for Van Valkenburg and Neglia to play in the biggest game of the regular season here at home in front of your entire crowd that you probably know most of on July 4th.
It's definitely a special moment, a moment that neither of them are going to forget. And to be able to pitch in a game, Van Valkenburg starting in just the 2 innings, they're up 1-0. Now, Marciano Neglia coming in when it's 8-1. Barely any stress on you as a pitcher. It's all fun.
Catch leads off of first. Here's the pitch. Misses outside. One name that we do see missing from the Dragons lineup tonight, Odilio Cespedes. He's one of their 300-plus hitters.
Yeah, not playing today in the Stallions matchup. Still unknown, possibly just a sit. Hopefully no injuries are his way. But an unusual sit for one of the best hitters.
This one's popped up on the left side. Rodriguez is chasing. He's got it. And there's one out here in this top of the 7th.
That's more like Neglia right there, forcing flyouts, the high flyouts.
It'll bring up Zoen Collins. Collins so far in this game, 0 for 2. Runner at first, 1 out. First pitch catches the inside corner for strike 1.
Collins, one of those 100 sub hitters. Really looking to make an impact up that average, but so far this game is 0-2.
He just gets a piece of that one. It'll go foul. A quick 2-strike count for Marciano Neglia.
That's the same weird foul ball we saw from Andrew Amato. Like when it comes off the tip of the bat because you're
It just spins.
so early that your bat's in front of it and hits the very, very tip, like almost the part that's indented.
0-2 count here to Zoen Collins. pitch. Misses upstairs. Count will go to 1-2.
You can still see the smoke building up in center field, Dan, all of it from the fireworks show after the game. It looks like a lot of smoke.
Excited for a good show. I've been expecting a lot for the amount of hype that our producer Casey DeSalle has told me about this fireworks show. I'm expecting big things.
I heard it almost last 20 minutes, too. Imagine having 20 minutes worth of fireworks. How much fireworks there has to be.
Basically the Macy's 4th of July fireworks show. I mean,
the first time in almost, was it 15 years that they did on the west side?
catch went over to second, but it's fouled off. And you're right, yes. So now everybody can see it. It's the first time, like you said, that Macy's is changing the location of their fireworks show.
So now apparently it's a lot more exclusive in a way to all the people around, not just in that one place. Apparently you have a bigger view to the public.
And more inclusive for sure, yes.
Yeah. Something exciting to look forward to for the New York City people.
And it's also, they're being launched off the Hudson River, which is right nearby us, just about 15 minutes
we might get
south.
2 fireworks shows.
Who knows? I want to check over on catch after he stole on the 2-2 count. The bridge. Catch with a big lead over there at first. Here's the pitch. Grounded to the left side. Rodriguez Fields throws to second. Trivella comes off the bag, but they'll say that his foot touches, so it's a fielder's choice, and the lead runner's out.
So, yes, a fielder's choice indeed right there. Tried to do a crazy jump and throw, but on the transfer just lost it there to almost get Collins out at first as well.
It'll bring up Christian Knight, the catcher.
An exciting few weeks for America and the whole world as a whole, the Olympics.
You mentioned it. It's coming up starting, I believe, July 10th. This one's hit out into right field. It will drop for a base hit. Bach nearly had a play at second. Cuello almost had a play at second. That one bounces past Hott, but luckily Rodriguez was there to back it up. So now runners at first and second with 2 out.
If you think about it, Trivella catching that ball in a smart play and not really 100% focusing on the double play ball pretty much saved the run. If you think about it, he would have been at second, would have rounded third on that hit.
First pitch to the left fielder, Ryan Hart. Misses for ball 1. Hart been a little hot as of late. Went 2 for 2 against Watertown 2 days ago. Tonight 0 for 2. That one's fouled back. 1-1 count.
Neglia looking to get out of this inning as quick as possible. Like we said, a 3.63 ERA, not trying to damage any of that anytime soon.
Stallions have beaten the Dragons 8-1 here at home in this season. That was the first matchup between these two squads. Here's the 1-1. That one misses upstairs. It's 2-1. At this point in the game, AJ, when these two teams played on June 4th, a month ago, it was 8-1 in the top half of the 7th. This one's lined down the right side. It will stay fair. Coming around to score is catch. It's a stand-up double here for Ryan Hart, and it's 8-2.
A good hit there by Ryan Hart just on the first base line right there. Couldn't really get much closer than that. I think the tiniest part of the ball was on the line there.
So now runners are at second and third. Christian Mote, the 10-hole hitter, will come to the dish. Neglia has now led up an earned run in back-to-back appearances versus the Dragons. He misses upstairs for ball 1.
an unneeded hit there is really the best way to explain it. Yes, up 8-1. Now it's 8-2. Still have plenty of leg room, but it's a 6-run differential on the same amount of hits.
It goes back to the amount of walks that the Stallions have earned themselves in this game. Saugerties batters as a whole have walked 10 times so far in this ballgame.
The last time we saw that many walks was against Amsterdam when we gave up 12.
Two-0. Rock to Rodriguez. He throws across the diamond. It's in time for out number 3. So Neglia limits the damage here in the top half of the 7th. It's 8-2 Saugerties. We're going to keep it right here for the 7th inning stretch.
On the 4th of July, please sing along to God Bless America.
Dan Shalom with you, alongside Casey DeSell and AJ DiBenedetto. Big thanks to Casey DeSell tonight for producing for us. He's doing a great job making everything look great. I'm sandwiched in the middle of these two. Casey on my right, AJ on my left, and of course a big thanks to Seth, our camera guy, as well for helping us out during home games.
Seth, one of the best cameramen in the PGC.
I would say arguably the best.
100%.
It'll bring up Eddie Yaman's Stallions leading 8-2 here in this bottom half of the 7th. Dragons plating 1 in the visiting half. George Creighton is out there for his 3rd inning of work. His first pitch misses outside for ball 1.
Dan, the crowd keeps on growing half inning by half inning as it comes closer to the fireworks show after this game.
Well, 1-0. Yaman swings through it, and AJ was making me think during God Bless America. Very thankful to be here in Saugerties, thankful to be with you, and thankful to be in this great country here on July 4th. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Couldn't be more thankful in the position we're in. We're calling a great baseball team, have each other to do it with. I mean, what else could we ask for? I mean, give the fans a little background here. We both go to Syracuse, and we were on the same floor in our dorm, and we became best friends freshman year.
It's truly a magnificent story between you and I of how we became friends, and now to be able to mix also being friends with work, nothing more that you can ask for. I said, hey, don't mix friends and family with work, but I think we've beat those allegations a little
We've
bit.
passed those allegations, those stories, those what ifs. It's all fun.
That one's inside the Yaman. It's a full count, and as always, as we're in the halfway point of the season, big thanks to Kevin Hinchy and Rob Vanderbeck for allowing us to be in this position in Saugerties this summer. Here's the payoff pitch to Yaman. He swings through it. It's Yaman's first strikeout as a Stallion, and there's one out in the bottom of the seventh.
Creighton really solidifying himself on the mound. He had that one bad inning in the bottom of the fifth, giving up 3, but most of it by mishaps on the defense. Then take it to the 6th, gave up none, and we're in the 7th, and a quick strikeout to Eddie Yaman.
I'm going to bring up Byram Hott. Had a double in his last plate appearance and would eventually come around to score.
Hot with a double in his last at-bat, really getting himself on that base path again as much as he can.
And he will go down in Saugerties history this season as being the first batter to get intentionally walked.
I haven't seen it until today.
He rocks this one to center field. Going back on it is Meyer. He's on the track at the wall and catches it just a step before that 390 sign.
That is just a phenomenal hit right below the 390 sign there. Anywhere else on the field, it's 9-2, but Byram Hott hitting it to the furthest part of the field.
He's definitely had a bounce back night tonight, and that ball, like you said, hit anywhere else, and it's out of here. Mike Cuello now to the plate. After that 3-run fifth that Creighton gave up, he's retired 5 straight batters.
Really getting himself into the groove, figuring out his pitches, figuring out the strengths and weaknesses of each batter he faces.
That one misses outside. It's a 1-1 count.
And Dan, a topic to bring up, a Saugerties local that is missed at this game by many, Ethan Conrad.
You talk about Ethan Conrad. He would usually bat in this part of the order. He currently is the best hitter in collegiate summer ball across the entire nation. 4 hits last night with the Bourne Braves, and then the night before that had 5. He leads the Bourne Braves in average, leads them in hits, and he's only been there for 2 weeks. And, AJ, he still leads this league in home runs and RBIs despite leaving 2 weeks ago.
It's crazy to think when a player leaves 2 weeks, that can equivalent to 11 to 12 to 13 games without him being played with. Many players having the advantage, and he still leads in, like you said, home runs, RBIs, and he ended his season with the Stallions, a 469. You can't get much better than that.
That one misses upstairs. Will be the first to wish Conrad an early happy birthday. His birthday tomorrow, July 5th.
And I'll be the second one to wish him an early happy birthday right there.
2-2 to Cuello is fouled back. And I don't know if this is factually true or not, but I would have to guess it's probably his first July 4th he's not spending in Saugerties.
I mean, as a Saugerties local, you grow up looking forward to July 4th. You have to imagine. I mean, he's out there succeeding, getting 4-hit games.
Cuello goes down looking. Creighton's retired 6 straight batters. We head to the 8th. Stallions leading by 6. Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto. 8th inning of play here at Cantine Field on this July 4th. And man, has it been a good July 4th here tonight. Couldn't ask for much more. A great night despite it being some overcast. The rain has stayed away and able to get the parade in this morning. It's really been a great day here in Saugerties.
Dan, we woke up at about 8 o'clock this morning, and we went straight to having fun. I got here at 9:45 and had a great breakfast with the team, and then went on the float, and just seeing the smiles of all Saugerties while we're on the float, throwing them candy, saying hi, giving them waves, it meant a lot. It really did.
Top of the lineup here for the Dragons to start off this 8th inning. It's Cody Meyer. He gets hit by the first pitch he sees. Back-to-back walks for Cody Meyer. He seems to be okay. Leadoff walk here for the Dragons.
Dan, a lot of hit by pitches today, 5 in just the top of the 8th inning. It's an interesting stat to look at.
Overall, that's the 5th hit batter in this ballgame. You really never see 5 in one game. This one's popped up to the left side. Rodriguez chugs over. He's under it, and he's got it for out number 1.
And Marciano, this actually was the same exact thing that happened last inning. He walks or hit by pitch the first batter. The second batter comes across, and the first pitch is a pop-up in foul territory to third baseman Rich Rodriguez.
Well, hopefully this inning doesn't go the same way, because if so, he's going to let up a run, and it'll be 8-3.
So we had that similarity, but let's keep everything else a little different.
That one misses outside. This one's skied into center field. Charging it is Bach, but under it is going to be Hot for out number 2.
We got 2. Fans, what we don't have is a 50-50 raffle winner. No one has reported yet, so here's the number. 50-50 winning raffle ticket. 321 913. 321 913. Come and claim your prize.
With 2 outs in this inning and the runner at first, it'll bring up Justin Gouveia, the right fielder. Gouveia hit into that 4-3 double play, which ended the 6th inning for the Dragons. They had the bases loaded with 1 out. Gouveia would line out over to Travella. He would throw to first and would eventually get Griffin, who is trying to tag up at first.
A huge outing there for Drillings.
This one's hit over to Bach in center field. He is under it, and he's got it for out number 3. Another clean inning for Marciano Neglio. We head to the bottom of the 8th. It's 8-2 Saugerties. Dan Shalom with you, alongside AJ DeBenedetto here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Bottom of the 8th. Dragons are down to their final 3 outs of the ballgame. And I got to say, I'm a fan of Justin Ford's walk-up song tonight. Baby, You're a Firework. Katy Perry.
That's a great walk-up song. You look at the field, you got the stars. You look at the bases, you got the replica of the United States of America flag. You look in center, we got a huge U.S. flag. This song goes perfectly.
I think it's probably one of the only valid times of the summer to be blasting that song. That one misses outside for ball 1. Creighton is on for his 4th inning of work. He's retired 6 straight Stallions. Ford takes that one inside. It's 2-0 to Justin Ford. And we see some smoke coming onto the field as they're testing some of the fireworks out there, and things are getting a little hazy.
Looks like a movie in a way, like the foggy baseball game you always see in the movie.
Give me Moneyball, The Sandlot.
I don't know about the fog part of it, but it just
Well,
it
when
reminds
you
me
have
of
the
something.
dramatic moment in Moneyball where, Billy Bean's watching the field and his A's are finally hitting it, it just looks so dramatic, and I'm getting that same type of
So
feel
am I.
right here.
It's a crazy scenic view.
Maybe even Field of Dreams.
I can see that. I like that comparison.
It's a 2-2 count here to Justin Ford.
The good thing is the sun did set, so fireworks will be able to be seen.
Ford swings through it for strike 3. After reaching base safely 6 times in his last 6 at-bats, he goes down on strikes for the first time in this game. It'll be Josh Blackmore now up to the dish. Blackmore today is 0 for 0, 2 walks and a sac fly. First pitch to him misses, down low for ball 1. Fireworks at 10 p.m. following the conclusion of this game. Stallions will try and close things out in the top half of the 9th. Here's the 1-0. Misses on the inside, and it's 2-0.
And Dan, just take a quick look at the scoreboard for me. Up 8-2 in the bottom of the 8th. 5 hits apiece, 3 errors towards the Glens Falls Dragons, 1 to us.
This one sits a Kleiman. He throws to first. Collins can't scoop it. That one gets by him, and Blackmore will go to second on the E6.
Just the play you got to make there. You saw him hesitate a little bit in the transfer, but when you're down 6 in the bottom of the 8th with no one on, your pitcher helps you out there with a nice ground ball. You got to help him back.
So we'll see a pinch hitter here for Jarrett May. It'll be Ryan Resio, his Weber teammate.
A lot of Weber guys on this team, the relation being Coach Colin Martin, being the Weber International head coach down in Florida.
Now, AJ, this is really feeling like a scene out of a movie now with the amount of smoke on the field. Blackmore is over at second. There's 1 out here in this bottom half of the 8th. Off-speed misses at the top of the zone. It's 1-0.
Creighton, no matter what inning he is in, just continues to just devour that curveball.
That one misses down low. A nice block by Knight.
Great defense by both of the catchers behind the plate today, Josh Blackmore and Knight of the Glens Falls Dragons. Really doing their job behind the plate and much more.
Resio pops this one up in foul territory. Knight charges towards it. He won't have a play. It'll go off the top of the dugout. Nearly fell into the palm of my hand. It was about an arm's length outstretched beyond the booth, and it'll fall foul.
I was protecting my my face there.
Our PA announcer Rob Vanderbeck saying, AJ, make a play on that ball, but not being able to reach it just a little bit
If I
too
was
far out of
if
your
I
reach.
was 6'10" with a 7'7" wingspan,
That'd
maybe.
I think you'd be in the show at that point if you
But-
were 6'10 with a 7'7 wingspan. Hope so. Here's the 2-1. That one misses upstairs. It's 3-1.
Recio pinch hitting today, his first at bat in just the game, replacing Jarrett May.
Hits that one straight to second base. Moat grabs it for out number 2.
Similar out to that double play that Trivella turned to May at first base to get Drillings out of that tough scenario with bases loaded.
So with 2 outs in this inning, it'll bring the 10-hole hitter Rich Rodriguez to the dish. That one misses down low for ball 1. Stallions will match up against Mohawk Valley tomorrow in a doubleheader up there against the Diamond Dogs. They currently sit at 4th in the standings, 7.5 back. That one's fouled off to the left side. There'll be no broadcast for tomorrow's game as Mohawk Valley does have a paywall, so we're not allowed to bring you that stream. However, on Saturday, the Stallions will travel on the road to Watertown, and we'll be able to bring that one to you with a 5:50 p.m. Pack Hub pregame and a 6 p.m. live start up there in Watertown. It's the furthest away trip for the Stallions of the year, about 3 hours and 30 minutes drive time here from Cantine Field. It's located nearly an hour north of Syracuse. 2-1 is in there for strike 2. 2-2, 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th with Blackmore over at second. Here's the pitch. Misses on the inside, and the count will go full.
An important out for Creighton here, Dan. 3-2, 2 outs. Get your team out of it. Get the bats rolling. Give them a fighting chance, right? Creighton did a great job with that in the 6th and 7th inning. Make it the 8th as well.
The payoff fouled off by Rodriguez, and we'll keep it right there. Here's the payoff pitch. This is upstairs. It's a walk here to Rich Rodriguez.
Not exactly what you want if you're George Creighton, Dan. You had him in that 1-2, 2-2 count. Just got to finish it off. You've been so consistent with the curveball. Got to go back at it.
We'll bring up Tyler Bach. Bach in this game started off with the double, but since then has gone 0 for 3.
And, Dan, if you take a look in center field, you can see that firework about to go off.
Our camera can't see it, but I do see what you're talking about. As that one just went off in right field, you hear that one on the broadcast. Fireworks just going off sporadically here at Cantine Field in the bottom half of the 8th. First pitch to Bach is a strike.
We've seen 3 locations so far of different fireworks. Popular thing here on July 4th.
Bach takes that one outside. It's 1-1.
Dan, if everything goes right in the top of the 9th and we get 3 outs, the Stallions will be 500 on July 4th games since it was recorded on Point Streak in 2021.
Bach hits that one to left field. It will get down. Coming around to score is Blackmore. It's 9-2 Stallions off an RBI single from Tyler Bach.
Bach took that curveball, and he's had trouble with it all year, Dan. Took it the other way, finally felt it through. The first hit off a curveball that we've seen up in the booth from Tyler Bach, but he hasn't had a ton of opportunities with the curveball, though.
So now it'll be the 2-hole hitter, Mario Trivella. Runners at first and second. 2 outs in this bottom of the 8th. First pitch misses high and inside for ball 1.
And it looks like the Glens Falls Dragons pitching coach or head coach is going to have a word with Creighton.
Not sure what the move here is. There's 2 outs in the 8th, and it's a 7-run ball game. But a quick mound visit nonetheless. And Creighton will go back to work. That pitch there to Trivella is a strike. It's 1-1. Bach is over at first. Rodriguez at second. It's a 7-run game here in the bottom of the 8th. This one's popped up on the right side, and the count will go to 1-2. One count, or excuse me, 1-2 count. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Down low, blocked by Knight.
Here, Natalie. You let something you're going to want to get back. It's at the VIP entrance. It's a card. Front worth a lot. Here, Natalie. Please board the VIP.
2-2 count. 2 outs. 2 runners on. Here in the bottom of the 8th, the pitch. Roped foul. And we'll keep it at 2-2.
And Dan, with the new July 4th jerseys that they wear once a year, right? Each number with a different number on their back today. If you look, Trivella 24, usually 2. So some different numbers on the back of the jerseys.
Everybody's swapping. It's the reason they only wear them once a year. Here's the pitch. Trivella fouls it back again, and the count will stay knotted at 2.
Dan, 2-2 count, 2 outs, 2 runners on, 9-2. A lot of 2s.
So many 2s on the board. Two. This one's hit out into left center field. Chasing it is Meyer. He's got it for out number 3. Stallions plate 1 here in this 8th. We head to the 9th. Dragons down to their final 3 outs. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Dan Shalom with you alongside AJ DiBenedetto. Final 3 outs of this ball game. And it's going to start with Steven Catch here, the extra hitter for the Dragons. It's not a new pitcher on the mound. They keep Neglia out there to close out this game.
Neglia really getting those innings in today, and he's been successful. He only let up that one in the 7th, then we take it to the 8th, gave up none, and take it to the 3rd inning of his outing in the 9th, and none so far.
1-1 count. Saugerties trying to get to 500 on July 4th. The last win since we started tracking with Point Streak came in 2022, a 13-8 victory against Albany. This one's rocked to left field. Going back on it is Ford, and he makes a nice running grab for out number 1.
Ford on the offensive end is a beast. On the defensive end, also a beast. He does it both ways.
It'll bring up Trey Mariano here with 1 out in the 9th.
Mariano having a really troublesome year. Dan came into this game a 105, 0 for 2 on the day.
He pops this one up on the right side. Blackmore had some trouble with it, so it'll fall foul.
That's a really hard ball to get as a catcher. The first baseman or Neglia going into the ball has to read that in a way where if you're turning around, right? The momentum's going backwards. So it's a hard one to get.
A 1 count, 1 out here in this top of the 9th. Some fireworks already going off here at Cantine Field. Stallions with this win would be just a game and a half back of the Amsterdam Mohawks. Marciano sails that one, and it's 1-1.
Marciano just taking a breath around that pitcher's mound, just trying to relieve himself. He knows there's 1 out in the top of the 9th, 2 outs, and this game is over.
Low pressure, low stakes situation. The 1-1. Misses down low. He's having some trouble locating, and the count will go to 2-1.
Josh Blackmore just telling him to calm down. Any good catcher really takes the pitcher's situation into his hands and calms him down to the best of his ability.
The 2-1. Misses on the inside.
If this is a ball, Blackmore should call a timeout and have a little talk with Neglia, just reassuring him there's only 2 outs left.
Neglia has given up 2 walks so far, and that will be number 3. So with 1 out here in this 9th, it'll bring up Zowan Collins. Collins came around to score. He was the second run of the game for the Dragons, that coming in the top half of the 7th. First pitch to him is a strike.
So way to get back on track from Neglia. Just seeing the situation that's given, it's really in his hands now. It's the best situation a pitcher can get or ask for. Just deal it.
Misses upstairs. Count is 1-1. This will be fitting, AJ, if it ends this way. Is Saugerties local starting this game, and is Saugerties local ending this game here on July 4th?
You can't get more Saugerties-like on that one, Dan, really.
He gets Collins swinging for strike 2. Steal over to second by Mariano. Doesn't make it in time, but he'll get Collins swinging for strike 3. So there's 2 outs here in this 9th.
That could have been a 2-6. What would have that have been if that was a double play?
2-6.
2-6, right?
And we've seen that before.
We have
in
seen
Amsterdam
that before in Amsterdam.
with Jake Mihalik and Josh Blackmore behind the plate. So,
Blackmore really on point with his throws, though. I hate to interrupt, but that was just right on the money.
Dragons are down to their last out of this ball game. It'll be the catcher, Christian Knight. In there for strike one. And after that strikeout, Zoen Collins, visibly frustrated with himself, slammed down the helmet and walked back to the dugout. Just really epitomizes the struggles of this team as a whole. The 0-1. Misses for ball one.
And Cespedes is in the Glens Falls dugout, just not playing today, taking an off day. So the Glens Falls, one of their best hitters, not playing today.
1-1. Fouled off to the right side, and the Dragons are down to their last strike.
You can assume that the crowd will go crazy when the Saugerties Stallions win.
Neglia, the hometown kid, trying to close out this game here on July 4th in front of a crowd of around 3,500 people at Cantine Field. Here's the pitch. Misses on the outside, and the count will get knotted at 2. Two-two count. Neglia trying to close out the ball game. Here's the pitch. Grounded over to first base. Resio's got it. He steps on first. And the Stallions win this one here on July 4th. 9-2, your final score.
We talked about the Stallions' success against the Glens Falls Dragons, now making it 6-0 on the season. A half even, winning 3 at Eastfield, 3 at Cantine. So seriously, a matchup that the Stallions really just explore themselves in and just succeed day in and day out.
And the Stallions will try and keep that momentum going tomorrow up in Mohawk Valley. The first time these two teams have met this season, a doubleheader up there. Like we said, we won't be able to bring you that one, but we'll be with you once again on Saturday. Stallions now 500 since 2021 in July 4th. Games, they get the win, but we're not done here. There's still fireworks to come, AJ.
This night is far from over.
The night is young.
Comparing it to a baseball game, I say it's about in the 5th inning. Still a lot of ball game left with the fireworks and the family and friend festivities.
So once again, the Stallions get the win here on July 4th, 9-2, your final score. For AJ DiBenedetto, I'm Dan Shalom saying good night and have a happy 4th of July.